Test 1, 2. All right, everybody. Welcome to another stream from the Eric Flight channel. And it's great to be out here tonight. We're going to do a long flight tonight. It's going to take about 2 hours, so it's not our typical stream here. So let me throw out a couple more of these links and have some exciting news to share as well. We are now affiliated with SimulatedAviation.com, and it's nothing monetary, nothing like that. It's just it's all about basically just promotion between both of us. They're trying to make something happen with the community, come together with the virtual airlines and stuff like that. But every single facet of basically simulation and flight. And I had a great meeting with them the other day, and I said, "Yeah, sign me up. I'm good to go." I'm actually quite proud that they actually wanted me to be an affiliate. So we are officially an affiliate of the SimulatedAviation.com, and we will be helping them out with promotions too. Awesome, bro. I'm not quite starting up yet, so feel free to join on. I have VATSIM that I have to load up still too, so I'm going to do that as well. Sorry that just flashed the screen there. Just loading VPilot. And tonight's flight should take about 2 hours and 5 minutes according to my calculations. So let's enter in the flight plan here. And we'll go on the Glacier Park International. I think that's what it's called. And I remember going here last year when I did these around the USA flights. So it's all good. It's very scenic, and it was very flat when I got there. I mean, it was at a higher elevation, but it was very flat. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the sights. So we'll be going at 9,500 feet. There's some tall peaks here and there that we just have to be careful of. I'm going to save that flight plan. Very good. And I don't think I changed the call sign on the 172, but you know what? I'm just going with it. We'll just have to remember that's 489 or Echo Foxtrot. Oh, wait, I did. Awesome. Hey, I'm on top of things tonight. That's awesome. So we'll connect to VATSIM. And we'll follow the flight plan. Unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, I just like to fly VATSIM also. There are no controllers online at this time on VATSIM. So, in our area at least. I mean, there are, on there. Slant Alpha Adventures, who also streams and is an affiliate of SimulatedAviation.com, is actually streaming on Twitch, and he's controlling somewhere. I can't remember, but I was watching that as I was getting ready. But yeah, I'm excited to get this flight going on, and I will wait another minute or so for people to log on if they want to join us. If you want to join us in the middle of the stream, that's also fine too. I will just keep announcing where I am, and you can look at a sectional and maybe start an airport around us. But last stream that I did, a lot of people were like, "Oh, do you fly alone or your group?" I mean, honestly, I just plan the flight out, and I welcome all to come, and that's why I'm also using Microsoft Flight Simulator. What's new tonight also is I went ahead and I bought Rex Weather Force. It's the first time I'm streaming with it. I did use it on a couple of short field takeoff and landing practices that I did at Cranland here in Massachusetts on the simulator, and it was pretty accurate. It was pretty good. It might be a little delayed on the METAR, but it's not that delayed. And again, that's not entirely their fault, because the METAR usually comes out about once every hour. But they do a good job with the weather. Right now it's supposed to be clear, and look, it's clear. So I'm hoping that the winds kind of line up more with the real world METAR. They are going to patch it. I guess there's a problem with some winds, but it's not very far off. It's not far off at all. And I actually think as of now it's better than the weather engine that is actually default in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, but yeah, bro, let me know what your call sign is on here, so I know who to look for. But with that, let's get started, because this is going to be a long flight, and I do have to work tomorrow. But it is what it is. Checklist coming up. All right. And I did plan out the flight and everything, so we have the flight log filled out, which is why I know how long it should take, as long as the winds lofts are going to work with Rex Weather Force. All right, start track, seat back, track and locked, seat track back and locked. Good. Avionics off, and I should have turned all this stuff off, but it's cool because it's off now. Autopilot off, throttle 1/4 of an inch. There we go. Mixture full lean. Brakes are set. Master on. Beacon on. Auxiliary fuel pump on. Mixture full rich. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mixture full lean. Pump off. Clear prop. Max to start. Here we go. Very good. So there we go. We're gonna get started, and oil pressure is right where it usually is, but it should be in the green. It's not that far off though, and that's just the way it is. So, all right, seatbelt harnesses, we're good. Lights as required. Let's do landing, taxi, nav. Have this ADS be like we usually do. Flaps are up. Let's just test the switch, and it does work. So we're all set. Heat vent, defrost. I don't know yet. We'll turn it on if we need it when we're up there. I think it's. Let's see Rex weather force. What does it say? It says it's actually 84 degrees. So yeah, we'll put it on. So cabin air going on. All right, avionics on, along with the transponder. Set the standby. Well, set the squawking 1200. We already have a flight plan in there. Not that I really look at that because I use my Avare app on my tablet. ATIS. So let's get my flight log. And we'll get an ATIS here. 119.05. Again, I'm using my SciTech radio panel here with spad.next to interface with it. So it works pretty good. It's not terrible. Still has some stuck keys in the beginning, but after that, you're fine. I also have to do a little cheat here because I forgot to fuel the plane. So we'll just go to 100 right now.
1224 at 7. Visibility, none. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 28. Dew point, 13. Altimeter 30.20. Visual runway 22 in use. Landing and departing runway 22.
Okay, let's start one more time.
Say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Echo.
Echo.
Grant County Airport information, Foxtrot 23000. 1224 at 7. Visibility, none. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 28. Dew point, 13. Altimeter 30.20. Visual runway 22.
Couldn't quite hear the wind, so I'm gonna use weather force for that. 240 at 4.
DSR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
Echo, right?
Advise controller on initial contact. You have Foxtrot.
Oh, now Foxtrot. Okay. Alright. Good there. We're going to switch to the VATSIM Unicom. I'm looking at VATtastic.com on my third monitor here, and there's still nothing there, so that's fine. I have no problem with that. Again, I just like to be on multiplayer, so it's all good. With that, back to the checklist. Transponder, good. ADS Beyond radio test. VATSIM Unicom, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please. I don't think anyone's going to pick it up, but we try. Taxi light is required. Alright, and we're going to go to runway 22. We can actually trust that, because that's what the METAR says. It says 240. But again, this is that weird airport. I don't know if you remember if you were here last stream, but you actually taxi across like full-length runways. So we'll go with it, but it's a little weird. And best bet is probably to bust a UE here. Go Alpha across 32 rights to Gulf and all the way down to runway 22. And we'll try to do a run up near 22. So, yep, that's what we're going to do then. Alright. Joker 79993. Okay, look for Eric Flight US, and that's me. And I actually see you. You're off my right there. We're going to go to runway 22, according to me. But if you have the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather, kind of go for what they got and just kind of let me know where you are. Okay? All right. You're basically off by 1 o'clock right now, so I don't know if you see me, but brakes good. And we're heading out. We're busting a UE on the ramp. Got to look at our right here. Good over there. And I'm very much relying on this airport diagram now. which is what you do. I'm just not used to this airport, so. And yeah. All right, here we go. Let me know if you can see me, because I should be kind of in front of you if you're heading my way on Alpha and Golf. And I guess I'll take some type of taxi lines here. Let's see. I guess I have to go this way according to the airport diagram. Yeah. So we busted a UE right out, and we're on our way. Awesome. So enjoy the flight. Let's make this good. We're gonna go over some nice scenery. And the airport at the end, from what I remember, last year was pretty nice looking and great visuals. So, all right, good. We're gonna join this taxiway right here. In front of us, you know, the one with the weird taxi lights in the middle of the apron type deal. And this will eventually link up to be Alpha. You can't go by the flight simulator taxi signs, so. Should be taxiing at a jog. Sometimes I go a little too fast, but it seems to be working well, pretty good tonight. I hope I didn't forget anything. I always worry about something, and they'll be, oh man, totally forgot that. It's cool. So with simulatedaviation.com, though, I want to let you know that they wanted to let everyone know watching the stream that they're giving away some Orb X products. They have a giveaway, and that message should pop up on the chat in a little bit. But looks like I have some maybe VATSIM traffic here. Maybe, because it doesn't have call signs, so that's pretty cool. All right, but we are making our way there. It's going to take us a while to taxi, because again, the taxiway is going like a big circle all around the airport. It's the weirdest thing. One of the weirdest thing, I should say, one of the most unique things I've ever seen at an airport. So, but we'll go with it. I remember I landed last time on like the world's smallest runway. All right, it was just a short runway, and I had to taxi around for about a good 7 minutes just to make it there. So, sorry if this is a little bit boring, but we're getting there. We still have to do a run-up. So you know what? I might do the run-up over here. Not over there, but like over here in this little patch there. Looks like it'd be nice. This is the ILS hold line over here, or at least it's supposed to be. So, this is also the military ramp over there, so that's probably why it's restricted. And we'll see if this white dashed line goes away. But no one's really here, and it's right before the runway, so you know what? Let's do it. Let's bust this UE. I'm busting a UE here. Alright, let's do the run up here and just get it over and done with. So, with that, brakes are set, fuel set for both, trim set for takeoff, trim wheel is working, flight controls in, right, out, left, and I look at the elevator and the ailerons in real life, but I'm just going to trust it here. Annunciator lights are working. That's the test switch. Instruments, turn pointers in the middle, no flag. Heading indicator should be about 2.9 or 7-ish. Yep. Vertical speed looks good. Altimeter looks good. Horizon looks good. Airspeed looks good. Mixture, best power. Good enough. All right. There's no primer. Thank you. And 1800. Here we go. All right, checking the magnetos. I want to get the 1800 right on the dot there. All right, what's magneto? Very good. Back to both. Love it. Back to both. Vacuum looks good. Amps always look like this. They should be like at 0 or slightly charging, but they're not. Just go with it. It always works. Oil pressure, oil temperatures in the green. Idling. Should bounce around 575 to 625. Yeah, that's about right. Back to 1,000. All right, we're gonna turn around to our left here. And again, we'll do the little briefing before we leave when we get to the runway, so. Alright, Joker, sorry about that. I always do the run-up. I try to do, like, real world here. Alright. Remember, I'm on VAT Sim, so I still have to call out things. It's all good. Alright, airport diagram would help this situation. And of course it switched airports. Why wouldn't it switch airports? Alright, Grant County. Grant County traffic, says United Foxtrot crossing runway 32 right via Alpha, Grant County. You look both ways, looking good. Go over here. This was a little tricky last time, but I have to cross over there. So that's not the weird, unique part of this airport. The weird, unique part we're actually not going to do, but let's say that you're coming off of 1-4 right, like I did last time, and you have to taxi all the way around through Foxtrot and stuff. You actually have to use runway 927 as a taxiway to get around the airport, which is what I had to do last time. So, going a little fast here, but it will slow down. I got the throttle out. Now we're on Gulf, so we just ride this all the way down to runway 22. Alright, if there's a problem on the takeoff roll, mechanical emergency otherwise, and there's enough available runway ahead of us, we will abort takeoff, land directly ahead on the runway. If we are under, let's say, 900 feet, there's a problem. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's almost. Yeah, I'll say 900. We'll just be safe. If we're under 900 feet, there's a problem. Mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll land directly. Have no more than 30-degree turns. Best glide speed is 68. If we're above 900 feet, and there's a problem. Mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will take a turn to the right, because that's where the winds are. We'll land downwind on the taxiway, the grass, the runway, whatever is available to us. Best glide speed is 68. And, okay, we're climbing to 9,500 tonight. So, Joker, I hope you got that. Okay, strobe's on at this time. We're far enough in this. If you're in a very condensed airport, you probably don't want to do that until you're near the runway, but we're good. But yeah, this Rex weather, it's been working pretty good, and I might do a whole review video on it. There's quite a lot of them out there already, but I might do my own review. And it was really crappy weather about 2 days ago when I was practicing my short field takeoffs and landings in the Massachusetts area where I fly for real. And it really added to it, the visibility and everything, and the weather and the rain. So we haven't really gotten into a lot of rain. When we did the Around the USA flights in Florida, we got lots of rain and thunder in Paired version 5, but we haven't really gotten a lot of that here. So I'm kind of shocked. I mean, it'd be nice to see those effects, because they look really nice on this. They look very lifelike. So, but then again, in the real world, I don't fly in lots of rain, but I have. And from what I understand, it's supposed to look like real life when they have rain clouds in the distance, because literally it looks like a wall of just water coming down from a cloud when you fly for real. But we're at 2-2. I'm gonna make one more check on Vatastic. No air traffic control. We're good. All right, looking right. Look to be clear. Left, and I keep my head going around to really make sure of that. But all right, we'll call it. Grant County traffic, says United Foxtrot, departing runway 22, departure to the east, Grant County. All right, taking the runway. And again, you in real life want to look and keep looking, because you don't trust anything. So, okay, rotate at 55, climb at 74. Again, following that briefing that I just did before, just in case. Never had to use that in the real world. Hopefully never will. But you always have to plan for the worst and get the best. So, alright, we're lined up. Feet on the floor. And stopwatch is going to start now. And here we go. Again, rotate at 55, climb at 74. Be awesome if these visors actually went down, but they don't. Okay, we are using real world weather, but the time I pushed back to 11, 11 p.m. Zulu, so 2300 Zulu, just so I can get more daylight. So we're not doing real time, but we are doing real weather with Rex Weather Force. Rotate and climb. Here we go. All right, we're off. I'll update you on the first checkpoint when we get out of here. You know what? I got that all wrong. It should be 1,900. So if I'm under 1,900, then I will land directly ahead, no mandatory turns. And if I'm up to 1,900, then I will take a turn to the right and land down one of the taxiway. The grass road is available to us. We're just about to get to 1,900 anyways, so it's all good. Okay, Joker, I'll be looking for you when you get up here, but I'm pretty clear for you to start now, so. And we will take a right turn out of here because it's a right pattern, so that will help follow the flow of traffic. In the real world, they would kind of tell you differently if they wanted to because it's a Class D, but go for what it is, so. And about Joker 799993, thank you for joining me tonight. Always a pleasure to have people fly with me on these flights. And I hope you enjoy. So, very much different than last year when I flew all these solo on VATSIM. Wasn't streaming then or anything. But look at that. Look at that nice little water feature right there. That would be Moses Lake, which is what this is named after. So, very nice. Alright, we're getting to pattern altitude pretty soon, so we'll take a turn to the right. Right about now. Clear on the right. We'll do a standard 45 just to get out of the way. So that's what? 265. Climb at 80 knots here. Hands cooling, and I can see over the nose better. At least in the real world, this doesn't really shift. I guess it does actually, because you get to see a little bit more. I went way overboard on that, but that's okay, because I'm going to do a right, basically, U-turn here. There's the airport right there. And clear on the right, so keep climbing, though. Keep it climbing. Trim it up, so I have to keep holding back the yoke as much, or at all. I did try the trim wheel, it was very sensitive. Like, I literally moved that probably like a centimeter at most, and it went shooting right up. Look at that. So we'll work with it. We will. Alright, my magnetic heading is calculated to be 5.5. So if we get on track and keep a bearing of 5.5, we should be pretty good. Airport's over there on our right. And we're just about at jet pattern altitude, jet traffic pattern altitude, so we will be good. My GPS is saying 5.6, very close to 5.5, which means we're pretty much on course. We'll overshoot it a little bit to get directly on course, but yeah. All right, we'll keep climbing and we'll get there. But let's take a look outside really fast. So we'll fly the airport. I don't see Joker out there. So I don't know if you can see me still, but I kind of lost you for now. Well, oh, there he is. He's on my left, actually. He's actually in front of me. Well, enjoy. And goodbye, Moses Lake. One of the most unique airports I've flown to. See, tell you to use these to taxi, because there's no other way. You gotta cross this runway or that runway to get over there. So I don't know who designed that, but they must not use those runways a lot then. And more 5.5. We're also at 3,000, so we'll lean out the mixture. Right about there. All right, cool. All right, first checkpoint while we're climbing here. Will be Odessa, which is 24 minutes away. Again, these are going to be somewhat long. It's an airport on our right. Odessa, there's also a town called Odessa. So, 9,500. Oh, fantastic. I can kind of show you the route here. Here we are over here. We're going to Glacier Park International in Kalispell, Montana. So, and on Sky Vector, an actual sectional, it looks like this. So again, taking off from Moses Lake. This was a backup that I might have landed at, not Coeur d'Alene, where was it? Spokane. Yeah, Spokane Metro, but I decided just to do it all in one take, even though it's going to take like 2 hours. It felt like a longer flight, so. Of course, that's what happens when I pull up Sky Vector and cover the whole screen with it. But it's all good. But yeah, this will probably go towards the evening in the simulator, so we might see the sun setting a little bit. Should be around 6 o'clock-ish, a little bit after 6 o'clock-ish their time when we arrive at Glacier Park International. The land is very flat out here and very, very, very sparse of civilization, except for small towns along the way. But still very beautiful. I remember I was a little bit bored when I did this last year. I was like, oh, there's not much to look at, but now that there's satellite imagery, it looks pretty nice. Lots of farms. Moses Lake is in the back there, so. Moses Lake, the town or city, I think it might be a city, is down there south of the airport. We're just gonna keep climbing here, 9,500. Right around Glacier Park, there's some high points. So that's why, again, we're going to 9,500, and we're heading east, so it has to be an even, an odd altitude plus 500 feet, so. But it's beautiful in its own right. Seems to be like irrigation or something there. There's supposed to be a microwave station coming up on our left here. We'll see if that's in the simulator. But little things like that that are on the sectional, they're usually not in here. So, and we did install the patch number 3 that they released for Japan. I know everyone's streaming that and saying, oh, let's look at the Japan patch, but I'm just going to continue on my around the USA flights. And also, I still have to do that little flight for a viewer in Nepal, in the Himalayas. So we might attempt a landing at that airport that's in the Himalayas. I can't remember what it's called right now. Is it Lukla? I think it's Lukla. So that is one of the hardest airports to land in the world, according to some people. So, and Joker's in front of us, so let's make a good time. Now see how there's no call sign on that plane? That might be a VAT sim plane. But I don't see it here. But usually if it doesn't have a call sign like this is Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer. That's usually VAT sim. So it's very, very much more like the fact that you really gotta look for planes. All right, back to the cockpit. Keep on course. Again, Odessa's going to be up ahead in a while. I got almost 10 minutes of flight time so far. So, Joker, what are you flying there? I didn't even ask that. We increased the sound library of music for the background to 60 songs. So I've been working on that as well. Mixture a little of everything. Got some jazz, got some rock, and then you've got your typical background streaming music, which is pretty good. I handpicked them all, so I didn't just pick songs and put them on there. Feels like a Friday to me, or at least a Thursday. It doesn't feel like a Wednesday. But Wednesday is seeing we're in hybrid mode here. I'm teaching remotely though still from my school, and so I basically stay inside all day. And I went biking every day this week after I get done with work, which gets me out. But it's very weird because Wednesdays are like half day where they sanitize the whole school. So they have the hybrid kids there and they do this activity, but then I teach the remote kids only on Wednesdays for half a day in certain classes. And then today I got my administrative duties, so we'll have a lot more to go, a lot more things to do, and I'm looking forward to the I don't want to call it challenge, to the work I should say, that's going to be important, that they are trusting me with. So and that's it. I'm not talking about work for the rest of the stream. Not gonna happen at all. Again, About Joker 7999993 is flying with us tonight. And in chat, that would be Bro12334. It's always great to have people join on the flights. No problem with that. And Odessa, first checkpoint, is still out there. We're only about halfway there. These big open lands, there's not much to go by for checkpoints, so. And if you do want to fly with us, you can always start up at 43 Delta, which is Odessa Airport, and join us. We're going to be there in about 12 minutes or so, maybe less than that. We'll have to see. We're climbing to 9,500 feet. So again, we're getting over some of the bigger peaks at Glacier Park, in the Glacier Park area. But we are heading back east, and we're heading back towards Plymouth, Massachusetts, ultimately, where I started these Around the USA flights in June. And it's been great seeing the country. I wish this simulator was out though when I started, because then I could see all like the satellite imagery of everything. I got to see it from like El Paso on, so half the country isn't bad, right? And by the time I'm done with it, I'll have seen about 3/4 of the perimeter of the United States on this Around the USA flights. And I'll probably do it again next year. I don't know. I'll mix it up though. We'll do different routes. But I'm saving all the flight plans, so that way it'll be less planning. And be good. But yeah, now, yeah, the scenery, you know, I mean, it's farmland. And, you know, it's colorful, but I don't know. We'll see if I get bored of it. But I'm not trying to say that the people that live here and stuff are boring. I'm just trying to say that the scenery is not as exciting. Right now, at least. It's not very hilly. It's very flat. And we'll see. Get the Glacier Park, though. It should be better. So, okay, we'll lean out the mixture a little bit more. Get maximum RPMs while we still continue to climb here. Right about there. And we're coming up on 8,000 feet MSL. So check pressures as we go too from weather stations I can log into. That honestly isn't going to probably be until get to Spokane International. So, but we shall see. Again, Rex Weather Force, using it for the first time streaming tonight. I did it a couple times practicing short field landings and takeoffs, but it shows it's working and stuff like that. Over here, you can enter your favorite airport. So let's say for this flight, I want to enter in Spokane International and find out their weather. I can put plus here, Kilo Golf Echo Golf search, and this is a little buggy. Sometimes it doesn't let you hit OK right away. You just have to kind of keep clicking it and searching until it does. But they are trying to release a patch here, so I don't know if I can get that to work. But if it, oh, there you go. Just take some time, and now if I click on that, it's going to give me the weather in Spokane and the METAR once it downloads it. But it's going to use the weather around the area from where I am. It's not going to use this weather. This is just a check on the METAR. And let's see what happens. Still loading. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it loads. I'll put it back on screen if it does. Also, with that new patch 3 that came out, you might notice the plane does react to the wind a lot more than what it did before. We're on a very flat land, so there's not going to be tons of ground disturbance wind or anything like that right here. But it does bounce around more than it did before. And I noticed that when I was doing those short field takeoffs and landings. But I was doing all my stuff in Massachusetts at Cranland Airport, which is very close to where I fly in the real world. And yeah, TBM 930. So you're probably gonna beat me there, so don't feel bad. But all right, if you have to get fuel, I would say go to Spokane and get fuel if you have to. I mean, it's 200. Let me see my flight log actually. It's 216 nautical miles on this flight, so plan accordingly. I didn't even calculate my fuel, which is terrible. I should have done that. Maybe I should do that now. I'll break out my E6B if I can find it. I put it somewhere. This is what I get for doing baths tonight. The kids. Okay, well, I know I have enough because I filled it 100%, and I know I have about 4 hours of fuel, and the flight takes about 2 hours, so we'll just estimate it to be, it's going to be about half by the time I'm done. And I definitely have the requirements of, we'll even do nighttime VFR requirements, having 45 minutes extra reserve, and also the 1.1 gallons for the run-up, which is in the POH. So well, that's it. Oh no, there it is. Okay. It just says clear. It says 32 degrees Fahrenheit in Spokane International. So I don't know. That sounds a little funky. Oh, there we go. Maybe. No. All right. So it might be a little buggy. Like, see, there's nothing here yet, and it's been there for a while. But it says 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know, and I'm not gonna check that in the real world right now. I'm gonna worry about flying. So I always fly the 172. I'm very much just into flying what I fly in the real world. So 9,500 will trim out a little bit here. I trained in the 152, and then I got checked out in the 172s at my flight school. So that is what I fly for now. And they're not as nice as this. This is the SP model that comes with the radio, the steam gauges. It's from the Premier Deluxe version. But the G1000 is basically the same thing with different electronics. The real world, I fly the 172N, 172M, and the 172P. But that is what I'm flying, the 172 SP. Just in case you didn't hear me, which you probably did, but yep. If you'd like to join us, again, this is gonna be a longer flight here, so you can go to Odessa, which is I'm like right near there. That's gonna be our first checkpoint, 43 Delta. But feel free to join us or just watch. And now the trim's going nuts again. I hate the trims in these planes. Not lifelike at all. But yeah, I've just taken the 172 all around the country. and we started on prepared version 5 because I started back in June when this simulator wasn't available. And I had the 172N model from Coronado, which wasn't the best, but I was able to do like repaint it and stuff. And I still have to look at the repainting this model sometime when I get some time. But it flies pretty good. Floats a little bit on landings, so. Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, if you haven't followed me already, make sure you follow me, because I'm going to invite people just to fly any flight I fly. So that's the way it's going to work there. Because last stream I did, a lot of people were like, oh, it's just a group, and we fly with you, and Bush can fly with me. No problems at all. Makes it a little bit more interesting, so. Kick back the RPMs a little bit to 2,500. And we gotta get this down to 9,500 though. Oh, hey, don't feel bad. I just got mine. It's 41 in October, last October. So, and I've wanted it since I was 18. So if you're gonna do it, go do it. So, heck flat. Thank you for following along on Twitch there. I think it's on Twitch. But you got to also test out my new sounds that I made on Streamlabs here. So, alright. Awesome. Did you land at Spokane International? Because definitely have enough time. We're passing Odessa on our right now. I have about 22 minutes. Let's take a look outside. In Odessa, literally, small town. There's the airport right down there, 43 Delta. But that's what you're going to see here out in the Midwest, the northern Midwest. Or as we head in more into the Midwest. But yeah. Alright, sweet. Well, we're 2 minutes ahead of our published or calculated times on my flight log, which is usually the case because I average out the climb here. And the trim seems to be a little bit better right now. So let me write down 22 minutes. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I plan these out like real world cross countries so that I calculate my times on my checkpoints and stuff, and it helps me practice for the real world. Because I usually don't do 2-hour one-way flights. If anything, it's usually, if I'm doing like a good two-something hour flight, it's usually bouncing around to airports and landing and stuff like that, or giving people a ride and showing them the sights. So, but I am trying to build my cross-country time in real life so I can get 50 hours down before I pursue an instrument rating. And I think that's about as far as I want to go for the near future, at least. Because I could do CFI, but I just want to enjoy it. I already teach for a living, so I don't know if I want to do that. It's a nice transition, but that's awesome. Yeah, I'm slowly saving up and seeing if I could buy a plane, which I probably could. It's just gonna take. It's getting the down payment first, because can I pay for all my flying with my Eric DIY YouTube channel, where I do like do-it-yourself projects and stuff, and I've been doing that since, like, seriously since 2013. And it just started out with one repair video, and it just blossomed from there. So it actually pays for all my flying. I got very lucky. Paid for my whole certificate by the end of it. And still to this day, I make sure I budget so that I only spend that money and not my salary. But I really wanted to look into a Cardinal, which I still haven't been able to step into, the 177. But a 172 will do. I have no problem with that. I'd really like a P model, though, for the extra useful load of 2,400. Well, you know, full gross weight of 2,400, so that we can put more in the plane. So this 152, that's great if you're gonna fly by yourself, but you can't really take much of anything else. I did fit the e-bike in the back though. That was spectacular. I don't even know how I did that. So the folding e-bike, I got in the back of the 152 somehow. Very tight fit. But even for my check ride, I had to take fuel out of the plane, because my designated flight examiner and I were overweight, so we had to take it out. The other airplanes are people on Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer, so you can't see them because they're that far away. But if you're closer, you can. And in fact, if I can keep this thing straight, I'll send the drone out and we'll go take a look at one or two of them. But Joker's with us. Joker's flying with us tonight, so they have a drone feature Or again, you can just send out a drone while you're flying. The bad news, you can't fly the plane. You have no control over the plane while you do this. But you could send it out anywhere. So let's say I wanted to see Joker, I'd go all the way out here. But you can see they're pretty far away. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, for the multiplayer, they have people like way far away. Yeah, it all depends on fuel burn with the charts and everything like that. But I average up on the 172. I say I have 10 gallons per hour fuel burn, and usually it's about 8.7, maybe 9 at most. But that way I'm safe. I have extra fuel in the plane no matter what. But right here, Joker's with us. He's flying a TBM. That's why he got here a little sooner than I did. But you can see the drone can go out and visit traffic, but that other traffic's way out in the distance. But this will be our midpoint of our flight almost. Ah! I'll try and get to you, Joker, but... Alright, I am going to have to go back to the plane pretty soon, because it's probably veering to the right. And I can't control it from here. But Joker is on the ground right there. And it keeps moving because my plane's moving, so Joker's refueling there, and go back to our plane. We just hit 5, and bam. Yep, veering to the right. So let me get back in the plane, steer it back on course. That's the only problem when you're using the drone, is that you have to not have any control of the plane. Our next checkpoint, by the way, is Harrington, the town of Harrington. I'm way off course here, but you gotta climb a little bit too. So the drone is cool, but again, you can't really do much, and all that traffic is way far out. If you see any traffic without names on it, that would be the VATSIM Online Air Traffic Control Network traffic. Those are all real pilots that are on VATSIM with me right now. But we have no controllers out here, and the only traffic I'm seeing is an American Airlines flight to the right of us here. So, that's all I'm seeing there. And you're not going to see them because, again, they don't have usernames or call signs like this. They're way out there. So if anyone is out there and you have Microsoft Flight Simulator, feel free to fly with us. Your probably best bet now is to load up at Spokane International. I'm going to take my time also getting there with the 172, but that would be the next real airport to take off from. Harrington's going to be a small town on our left up ahead. That's our second checkpoint, and we should be there in about 5 minutes or so. But again, I went a little off course using that drone, so. And that drone was buggy in the past. I had one problem when I was at Santa Ana, California. I sent it to go look at Disneyland, and it told me my plane crashed, even though it was off and put the parking brake on and everything. So I don't know. So you have to be careful with your usage of the drone. But we are not using autopilot. I like to fly by hand. Yes and no, from my friends who are not American, because I went to a music college. I met a lot of people from different countries. Like I have some friends from the Dominican Republic and Mexico. There's a guy from Belgium who used to speak French all the time. I'm not very good at French, but I try, because my grandmother's from Belgium. But in the English language, there are words like there, and there are 3 different words. They're just spelled a little differently, and they mean different things. Like THEIR is possessive. Conversational English, yeah, you could probably get used to it. It's just written is usually the biggest problem, because we have some weird rules in the English language, if that makes sense. So, I think that's what I'm getting at. But we do foreign languages, in my opinion, all wrong in America, because we're not required to take a foreign language till we're in high school, which means that we're like 14, 13 years old. And by then, as most people probably know, or maybe you don't know, our brain is kind of hardwired, in my opinion, to learn a language when you're very young. And I remember when I was at college, there were a lot of people, again, from Europe and stuff, and they would know like 6, 7 languages, and here I am, like, struggling to speak French if I had. And my mom was a French teacher, so I had no choice. So I don't know. But You can do it. You just have to, I would recommend watching streams like mine and stuff and trying to pick up what we're saying. And the more common things, especially if you want to be a pilot, you can kind of see how we talk, I guess, over and over again. And it's like any other language, you pick it up. Or, Spanish, some of the Spanish words are kind of like, French or this and that, and you learn the similarities. So I think that's what I would say. So, okay, if you notice, my newest affiliate, because I'm an affiliate of Simulated Aviation, they told me to let everyone know that they're having an Orbex giveaway. And it's good for prepared 3D or Orbex. You get to choose from those. So if you want to enter that giveaway, just click on that link or go to that link that's in, I don't know if you can click on it because it's in chat, but simulatedAviation.com/Orbex-bundles-giveaway, and you can learn how to enter that giveaway. I think that's going to happen on October 5th. So, but there's some good packages there. There's nothing for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but definitely some good stuff for X-Plane and Prepared, which I still have installed, by the way. I still have Prepared version 5 installed. I didn't uninstall it, but I use mostly this because, again, you have the satellite imagery, and it's excellent for VFR. There's just a couple things still that they have to work. Well, I should say a lot of things they still have to work on, but it does get better. So, and we're using Rex Weather Force for the first time tonight. That's my weather engine for tonight, and it looks pretty accurate. It's supposed to be clear the whole route, so it's looking good as of now. But it's not giving me the weather for Spokane International, which is where we're ultimately going for our first big waypoint halfway in the flight. So I don't know what to make of that. So I used real-world winds aloft data. Honestly, I did what they call a Part 61 school. So I literally just went to one of my local airports. It wasn't a structured curriculum or anything. Harrington's off to our left, by the way. That is our checkpoint. Right there, so I got 33 minutes, which is what I think I calculated. So give me 1 second, please. Gotta keep track of my checkpoint times here, like I would in the real world. 33 is good. All right, Edwall is our next checkpoint. So, as far as academies, I'm more just about flying for fun. So that's why I have my private, and I'll probably get an instrument rating. I would recommend entering a university program, I think, if you wanted to fly professionally and for money. I don't see myself going that route, but I just lost Joker, so we'll see if he pops back up. He might be way far ahead of me with the TBM. So if we don't see him for a while, don't worry. It really depends on what you want to do. The flight school I went to, my coworker who retired, he was up the whole time, and I just knew him and everything, and I looked at what they had. I went to their free ground school, and I really liked what I saw. They have a bigger fleet than a lot of other flight schools in the area. Like, they still have some Pipers. I haven't even touched the Piper yet, but I don't plan on doing that until after I get my instrument, if I'm going to do that. And, oh, there he is. So, again, what do you want to do? Do you want to go go ATP and become an airline pilot? Or do you want to do commercial where you kind of like, do more of a private, corporate thing eventually? It's really based on what you want to do. There's a lot of schools in Florida where the weather's a little bit better for flying. I'm in the Northeast. I'm in Massachusetts, where obviously the weather takes a toll on your training time a little bit because it's a large variety of weather. So there's a lot of what ifs and conditionals there you'd have to think of. So, but I would I'd probably talk to some airline pilots, and if you join the Virtual USA Flight Club, the little banner that pops up from time to time, it was actually started by an American Airlines pilot, and he kind of can probably give you some more answers about that. So, but again, there's 2 different types of flight schools in America, at least. I don't know how it is in other countries, but we have Part 61, which again doesn't really have a full-out syllabus curriculum that you follow. It's more of a, we know how to get there, this is what we're focusing on today, and then they get you to where you need to be. I like that approach for myself more. Or they have what they call Part 141 schools, which everything is laid out and written out, and you have to finish it in that order. And usually that means less training time, from what I've been told. But it really just depends on what you want to do. Yeah, like the big school in Florida is ATP. That's the name of it. And I guess they also do accelerated training and stuff. But I would also make sure that you have a good grasp of the English language to a certain point for conversational English, because again, everything's going to be in English, and you have to be, if you're going to get the FAA license, you have to be English proficient. It's one of the requirements. So it can happen. You can do it, but you'd have to work at it like anything else. So, but I've had some of my high school students, when they learned that I was a pilot, I'm a band teacher, so they ask me weird questions other than playing instruments sometimes at the end of class, and like, oh, what's it like to, I must have had like 5 people come up to me and say, I want to be a pilot now. I want to be a pilot. And I was like, well, cool, you know. But then they find out how much it costs and everything. And some of them, I've had 2 of them actually bring their parents with them, and they've had a discovery flight. But that's about all they went. And then they came back and they said, you know, it's just too expensive. And I'm like, well, it's and this is when the market was good for pilots, because they had lots of openings and they couldn't even fill them. But now that COVID's here, it's quite the opposite. And that shouldn't stop you from chasing your dream, by the way. But it will definitely be a factor in getting a job. A lot of pilots saying fly cargo and stuff like that. We are coming up on Edwell, which is on the sectional as a visual checkpoint. So I'm thinking it's like a town or something. There should be some railroad tracks below. So let's take a look outside. Are those the tracks? Those might be the tracks around here. Or something. There's a river, but there should be some railroad tracks. And right there is Edwall, so it's a little town. And again, we'll be heading towards Spokane International. We'll be above Class Charlie, because the ceiling is up to 6,400 feet. That's why we've also picked 9,500, so we can not have to worry about any of that, because why be in it if you're going to be flying for a while and you got some peaks ahead. So choosing altitudes are important. But like I said, Midwest United States flying, this is a lot better than last year when I did it, but it's still very flat. Some hilly trains going to be coming up near Glacier Park, but this isn't as bland as before, but again, it's very open, flat land. And small towns. Which makes it very hard to pick a lot of checkpoints. That's why my checkpoints are very spaced out tonight. So. Well, you know what, Shadow Star? I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm gonna go with Shadow Stoller. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But let me tell you my story, because every story is unique. So here's the deal with my private pilot. One, I started flight simming when I was like 18. It was a passion of mine. I'm a trained musician. I went to Berklee College of Music. I played my instrument for like 12 hours a day. I had a part-time job, but whenever I needed a release, I would do the simulator. And people used to think I was crazy. Then I got a couple of them to convert and actually try the simulator, and they thought it was cool. I was the nerd, per se. But when we're musicians, we don't care anyways. So I knew I wanted to get the private pilot, and, you know, I put it off because I wasn't going to be able to afford it. I really wasn't going to become an airline pilot. It just wasn't in the cards for me. But what happened was, again, is I started a YouTube channel. I didn't think about money at all. It actually, and I don't want to go way long in this story. This might take a couple minutes, though. So I was driving to work one day, and I had a Ford Ranger, which I miss to this day. Should have never traded it. And I said it wasn't practical, but I love that thing. It was my first truck. And I'll get my next checkpoint, by the way. Sorry. I'll get this story out eventually. Edwall, 39 minutes. Very good. So the checkpoints seem to be more accurate with this Rex weather. All right, next checkpoint would be Spokane International. All right, getting back to YouTube. So I made a video on how to fix the hood latch in the truck, because, of course, my father, who's not mechanically inclined at all, just was like, oh, take it to the dealership. And as you know, dealerships are there to rook you, basically. They're like, it's gonna be like $50 for the part and $200 to install it. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I went and bought the parts, and I said, you know what? People on YouTube are helping people out all the time. Let me make a video. Let me. Oh, I just got an achievement unlocked, everyone. Pilot program. I don't even know what the hell that means, but. So I made a video, and I put it up on there. It's literally just 2 screws, but you had to make sure it was leveled a certain way and put the key. You probably know. You know how easy that is. So I made the video and I put it on there. And this is back when YouTube, you can monetize right away. You can monetize right away and get paid, even if it was pennies. It didn't matter to me. I was like, okay, I'll monetize it. What the hell? I'm helping people out. I can get a little back for it. I started making some money, and I was like, okay, well, whenever I have to do something around the house, or fix the lawnmower, for example, or put a new blade on it, or hey, I'm gonna insulate my attic, or whatever, go do a little video on it. I don't think I did half those videos, by the way, so don't go checking. So I just kept building up videos. We're about 450 videos strong now. I do product reviews and do-it-yourself projects on everything, cars, security cameras, stuff like that. And I will say that I make enough now where I could go flying at least 4 times a month and be paid. And I'm talking like 2-hour flights. Usually I do about an hour and a half, but I also budget to leave a little extra. So that's what pays for the flying. It didn't start out that way. So the reason why it took me a long time to do my private, it took me 3 years to get it, and I won't lie. In fact, I got a spreadsheet with the whole cost on it, because my wife was all about, oh, how much are you going to spend on that? And she was just being careful with things. It wasn't really she still doesn't like me flying, but try to get her in the plane now, she won't go. But it cost me about $20,000 around there. I'll tell you that. But again, there's a lot of factors. One, I have a wife and a family, which obviously I love to spend time with. So consistency was a problem, especially in the beginning. I flew 1 flight every 2 weeks. If you want to get your private pilot certificate done, I recommend doing at least 2 flights per week. Joker just passing over us, by the way. I don't know what happened there. So let us know what happened to you, because you literally just flew right over me. I hope you're okay. And where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so anyways. So once every 2 weeks, not gonna cut it. So then, as I started making more money on the YouTube, I started doing 1 flight a week. But then weather got in the way, and then I had a surgery in the middle of it all that put me out for about a good month and a half. And that was instrument related, believe it or not. Yeah, you get it. So you gotta make time for it, though. You do. And I would recommend 2 flights per week, because there's gonna be a problem and all that stuff. And if you do that, you're probably gonna get the license within 60 to 70 hours. It took me a little over 100 hours, because again, I took my time with it. I didn't want to, but the good news is, good job, Rob. Good job. Way to chime in. If you're really serious about it, I recommend you save like a good $2,000 and just start booking 2 flights a week and trying to get that going on. Flight lessons usually typically where I am in Massachusetts, it was about $150 to $200 for your typical flight lesson. Obviously more for your cross country. Plane rates, it depends on where you are, but I was doing the 152, which at the time was renting for $95 an hour, and that was fuel and everything. And then the flight instructor was $50 an hour. And again, he was a friend of mine, a co-worker, before I even got there. Actually got paired up with another one, but then he left because he wanted more. He was getting better pay somewhere else to build up the hours to become a airline pilot, which you can't blame them. That's another thing too. So, but anyways, that's why it took me that much money. The good news is, though, I kept making more money as I kept flying, because I kept making videos. I was motivated to more and more money and help people out at the same time, honestly. And now it's just, I'm not saying I'm rich or anything, but it pays for the flying. I can't knock it at all. So the Eric Flight channel that you see, say subscribe and like, shameless plug, but that doesn't make me any money right now. That's just more to share my flying passion with people and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I recommend. And just personally, opinion-wise, I did the free ground school at the flight school first. Hey, Aaron, how are you, bud? I did the ground school first, and then I told my wife, oh, I'm just gonna go on Discovery Flight, you know, see if I like. I knew I was gonna do it. Discovery Flight was just a get in there. You get the hours for it anyways. And anyways, when I was at ground school, I'd see all these older people, and I'm not against older people, obviously.
Do barrel rolls and
Awesome.
loop
Thanks for subscribing on YouTube.
Do that kind of flying.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
It's dangerous and irresponsible.
Too many lawsuits.
Nice emojis, Aaron. Nice emojis. So enjoy the new sounds. I got a couple of them there. That's usually the most popular one, though. But thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. And no, see, I'm talking in circles. Down now, my friend. I got it down. I've worked on that. So I'm just terrible with names. Hey, actually, that was not Spokane. That is the airport next door. That's Fairchild Air Force Base. And Spokane's right over here. So that's our next checkpoint. Sweet. Well, thank you for watching on both then. Here's the deal. I'm flying by hand here. So if I'm a little bit off, it's human error basically. But also, this is a direct route. It really doesn't anticipate winds aloft, whereas I'm heading more like 5.5, which is what I calculated for winds. Yeah, so that's more like, yeah, if you fly that direct, you're fine, but if you're flying by hand, then you're fine. You know, honestly, I have to do YouTube as well because I started out on YouTube. So they don't have to like it, but again, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I'm just a man who flies flights and likes to share them with people. That's literally what it is, and you know, if Twitch takes off, great. If it doesn't, I'm still gonna stream, and I use Restream for multi-streaming. So I don't think I'm gonna be a ninja or anything like that. If you know who that is, I'm just literally a person that likes to fly. Is going to fly the simulator anyways, and real pilots. Hopefully, I can teach some people if they have questions about things. Because I know when I was growing up doing the sim thing, I didn't know half of what I should have known. So, but yeah, we're flying over Spokane, which is the pseudo midpoint. If you look at that gold bar on top, it kind of tells you where we are. We're about 60% of the flight in here. It's going to take about 2 hours total. Spokane's looking pretty good down there. A little more civilization right here. We have some more Microsoft Flight Simulator traffic. Joker, I don't know where he went. Oh, there you are. You're behind me. Cool. He's doing circles and barrels, I guess, because he's in the TBM tonight. But let's get a time check on that. And again, I plan everything. I don't know if you can see this because I have a virtual background, but I have a tablet right here. This is what I fly with in the real world. And I have my flight log on there, which is calculating all my times. So have a wicked long video on that if you ever want to watch how to do flight planning. But I got 48 minutes, so we're 1 minute ahead. So I got to calculate differently on my times here. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. This is what you do in the real life is you update them as you go so you can make sure that you're on track with your route here. But yeah, I have a stylus with a tablet and plan everything on there because when I was using paper flight logs, I was all over the place. Not really, no. What it is good for, especially this version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, is if you're going to an airport you haven't flown to before, you can actually see the visuals and get an idea for what the checkpoints are going to look like and stuff. It's just practice and entertainment right now. That's what it is. This is not FAA certified for instrument training either. When I did use the flight simulator at the flight school one time, hey, there's Joker passing by on the left. It was basically prepared without a lot of scenery in it. So I know that is FAA. But what I do practice is I practice my cross-country procedures like times, checkpoints, winds aloft, calculating the wind correction angle, stuff like that. And just keeps me fresh on that. So what the heck is that? Did I read that left to right? Is that how it works? Or I go right from left? Because I'm confused already. Sorry. But that is what we do. When I logged it at the flight school, though, that was an FAA certified flight simulator, and we practiced our cross-country route on it before we went out and did the dual cross-country. So to check checkpoints, look at like highways and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'm impressed you typed that in there, bud. Let me just say that. So, yeah. Good job. I am impressed. Next checkpoint. We're on the second leg here. Is Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Foxtrot, which is not Coeur d'Alene. Oh, there it is. Phelps Airport. We're already halfway there, so we'll take a look at that. And we should be there in about, oh God, 7.5 minutes, something like that, if I calculate that right. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you for coming to the stream tonight, and hopefully I see you in the future. If you have more questions about the private pilot, where they don't go sputtering out random fragments of sentences in circles, I'll be glad to answer anything I can answer to the truest way possible. But thank you for coming out tonight. We got some nice looking scenery now, and this would be Spokane, Washington. So that's why we see a lot of civilization right here. And Phelps is right there. We're gonna fly right over it. They do say there are antenna farms to the south here. I don't see any, but very like on the scenery here. Very, very lifelike. No habla español, je parle un peu de français, because my mom was a French teacher. I didn't have a choice. So that's just what we had. My mom was a short Italian lady who loved the French language. So, and then the sick thing is, my aunt was actually my French high school teacher. Yeah, she wasn't my French teacher to start with. I was doing very well, but then I stopped studying, and then my French teacher was like, "You're gonna have your aunt next year, and you're gonna study." Boy, was he right! Straight A's from then on out. I don't know why, but I was a pretty good student. It was just my middle school years where I don't think I was a rebel. I was just lazy. And of course, now I have middle school students, and I'm like, God, why are they so? I get it. It's just payback from when I was a teenager. So it can happen. But we're right over Phelps now. Going to the GPS on the tablet. Spokane, Washington looks really good. You got a stadium down there. Looks like. Really nice scenery. So if you want to fly with us and you have the simulator, feel free to join us. We're just over Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Foxtrot. The next closest airport will probably be Coeur d'Alene, Boynton. Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo. Feel free to join us if you want to. Joker 799R3 is with us, and didn't have an Xbox. This was old school. If you're talking freshman year, 94, so I don't want to date myself or anything, but 1994, I think I was still on the Sega Genesis. It was the last legs of the Sega Genesis and PC gaming. That's where I was there. My brother had the Super NES, and even that was kind of on its way out. And then we just went to PC gaming. But he's the one that got me into simulators by saying to me no when I said, "Hey, show me how to work this thing," and then I kind of learned how to do it myself. So, but that's why I'm trying to help people, because I know how it feels when you have questions and there's no one really there to answer. So feel free to ask away. I know a little French. It's more conversational than anything. I think I lost the writing ability, like in a functional way, a while ago, because if you don't use it, you do lose it. I mean, I guess I could brush up on it. But conversational French, and even then, it has to be slower, usually, for me to pick it up. But when I went to France, if you get exposed to that for a while, you kind of pick it up again. So. And my aunt was actually pretty nice. I thought that, she'd report anything I did wrong, so I was pretty good. My freshman year, I was smartening up. Freshman year of high school, I was getting with the program. I wasn't a rebel. I was a good student. It was just it's like teenage years. That's all it is. So, but hockey was my religion back then too. So, and education was way different back then. So, very much you get placed at a level where you're supposed to be, and it's up to you to do the work. And nowadays, there's so many supports and stuff, and rightfully so, some. It's very much individualized to the student, but I don't want to talk about work. don't want to talk about work. I'm here to escape work. So. All right. Next checkpoint is Kalispell Airport, which we're just about to cross, actually. It'll be on our left. It's a private airport to our left, so we'll have to really look for it. And that should happen in about 3 minutes or so. So we'll see. Let's take a look. I don't see it out there yet. I get a good look on the sectional here. Right below a big lake. So it's got to be down here somewhere. It might be this little field. I don't know. It's not a big runway, and it does go that way. But it says that it's an actual paved runway, so I don't know. That might be it. Regardless, we have the GPS to help us, but... And, that's Newman Lake, right here. I don't know if it's named after Paul Newman, but... No! Alright, well, so thank you. So now I have 2 nicknames to remember you, Aaron. I have to kind of get that in my head now. But, oh, you see that? The weather just changed, and that's Rex Weather Force, which is we're using for the first time while streaming tonight. It's still not giving me anything from Spokane, but it did change the weather, and it does say it's live weather. So it does appear to be a little more accurate than the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather. So but I'm taking it like this is the airport down there. So 2, 1. Well, thank you for letting me know that there are 2 different accounts, and that now I have to remember it's Aaron for both of those. Kalispell Airport. So I got 57 minutes flight time. I said 59, so yeah, we'll be about 59. And the 0. What's the 0 for? I do appreciate everyone that came out tonight for this Twitch stream. Again, this is my first one. Being an affiliate now of SimulatedAviation.com, which is literally, there's no monetary thing. It's just us supporting the virtual simulation community for flying. And they actually caught my stream the other day, and they said, boy, we really like it. We want to make you an affiliate. So I promote them, they promote me, and we actually have a lot of good ideas. I've been simming again for over 20 years, and we actually had a meeting before all of this stuff. And countdown to what, though? That's what you have to ask. That could be Destruction. However, that is a great song. So, alright, our report's supposed to be right underneath us, so we're going to call that. And I said 59. I came up with 58 minutes, so we'll adjust the times a little bit here. Still at 9,500 feet. Which means we're making a little time here, which is nice to see. Sorry as I adjust my times. Let's see, 5, yeah, okay. And then, all right. Try to get that back on course. The winds aloft data was pretty good. I used real world, just like I do in the real world. Next checkpoint is Kilo Charlie Oscar Echo. Should be there in about 5 minutes or so. That's Coeur d'Alene Airport ahead of us, which should be a little bit bigger. It's actually right over there. So when we're done with that, it will let us know. Below us is routes. If I can find the route. Well, Route 95 is coming up ahead of us, but I don't know what this one is. Wonder if there's traffic on it at all or anything like that. I don't know at this altitude. Actually, those look like railroad tracks, don't they? Those are railroad tracks. Those are the tracks I was saying earlier, because you could literally follow those for a little bit of our flight. And we're on our way again to Glacier Park International. When I did these flights last year on the United States, and though I did it on 152, 172, it was a really nice scenic airport to land at, so... Or what it looks like with satellite imagery. We're about to find out tonight, everybody. But someone asked me why are you off the magenta line? Again, I'm flying by hand. I'm not using autopilot, so it's okay if we deviate slightly from this. We just have to make sure that we're mostly on course. And again, keeping a heading of 5.5, we'll estimate staying on course with the winds pushing us. The winds are aloft 350 at 5 knots. So we put that in our calculator and it tells us what heading to head in. So when the wind is blowing against us, it still keeps us on course. So that's why you've seen me stay around 5.5 for the whole flight, unless I'm talking too much or pulling something up. So off our left there are the Twin Lakes. We have a mountain out here with a peak of 5,003 feet. And again, to the right, we have, trying to see the Coeur d'Alene Lake. I actually remember that from last year. Some of these things are coming back in my mind now. But I did that flying in Beard version 4 last year. Coeur d'Alene Airport right there. I'll show you the whole route of the Around the USA flights in a couple minutes. So stay tuned, I'll show you what we're doing. We've been flying these flights since June in the 172. Started off here, switched out to Microsoft Flight Simulator when it came out, and this has been more of a glorious thing because now you got satellite imagery everywhere. It's very lifelike. Coeur d'Alene Lake out here, that's where the city, I'm guessing, gets its name. And this is the city right here, south of the airport. So, it did look like that prepared. Looked comparable, but it wasn't like this. So. All right, Aaron, you're off. Thank you for coming in, buddy. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Always a pleasure talking to you. What do you got, 921 out there? I think it's 921 out. El Paso, right? I think it's El Paso. Aaron has been a follower for a while now. Literally half the country of flying. So, all right, Coeur d'Alene. I got about an hour and 3 minutes or so. I said an hour 4, so yeah, it's gonna be about an hour 4. So it shows you that we're on course and the calculations are correct. So we'll mark that as an hour 4. Hey, I have a lot of friends that live down there. I have he lives in LA now, but he lived in Laredo. I think it was Brownsville. My good friend Joe, and he went to college with me. He's a recording engineer now out in LA. So there's nothing wrong with that. And my roommate was he was American, but he was of Mexican descent, so Mexican American, if you will. And still a very good friend of mine. He lives in San Antonio. So nothing wrong with that. Lake Pond Orai, if I'm pronouncing that right, is our next checkpoint, and that's in 6 more minutes. So yeah, 6 more minutes away. Again, we're just having these checkpoints. So we do this in real life to make sure that we stay on course and we know where we're going. So, trying to see where that is though. Coeur d'Alene. Oh no, the Lake Penn. All right. It's a big lake on our left. We shouldn't miss it. It's actually over there. So, cool. Do you have dual citizenship? Oh, okay. I'm wearing my French jersey tonight, but this is from 2000. So, Euro 2000. I got this when I went out to Europe. So, oh, cool. I went to Mexico for my honeymoon in Cancun, and I loved it. So, a little skeptical now because that was 2007, but the people down there worked very hard, and they were very nice. So, again, I was in the tourist area, so I have watched a couple of Tijuana soccer games and stuff like that, though, just in passing. So. Yeah, Cancun was really nice, though. We don't really have the clear water like down there in the Caribbean area and stuff like that in the Northeast. It's actually quite murky. It's good in the summer still, but to swim in it or anything. But it's not clear or anything like that. So, and then they ask pilots like me for flying like fun little flights around Cape Cod in Massachusetts to look out for sharks and report them. So that's always fun too. Not that I've ever reported any, I haven't seen any. But when I fly to like Provincetown and stuff like that, like you see a shark, let us know. Because they try to keep a tabs on them because that's like the big summer resort. Think Jaws. When I flew to Martha's Vineyard, they actually filmed part of the Jaws movie in there. North California, yeah, my old guitar instructor's from there. And the only place I've been in California is Los Angeles. But I really liked it out there. It was expensive. I actually thought I was going to be out there after I left music college. I thought I was going to go out there and become a teacher, music teacher, which I am still today. And I thought I was going to do the recording sessions and try to do the original rock band endeavor. But we tried that up here in the Northeast. I got stuck here due to family commitments and things beyond my control, which I still don't regret, obviously, because I would have never met my wife and everything. But I did like going to LA, so it was a very different atmosphere. And again, half the people out there are from my old college, so like if you ever need a connection, you kind of go out there too. It's just the way it is. Lake Bend Ori is this big lake over here. That's why I picked it as a visual, and I think I said right when I get there at the tip of it. So be right about here that we're gonna look for. That should be a minute 10 total flight time. I have a minute 7 almost. So it's definitely gonna line up there. So winds aloft data definitely works with weather for us. That's what we're saying, which proves that the winds aloft are pretty good in the weather engine. Northern California, I think, is a little different though. It's kind of like what New Hampshire is here in the Northeast. It's kind of a little bit more woodsy and stuff, so that's kind of cool. They're having the Plymouth Aero Club here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. They're going to fly up to Keene, New Hampshire on October 3rd and have like lunch and breakfast. I'm thinking about doing it. I'm not a member, but they kind of invite me anyways because they invite like anyone because they want you to join eventually. And it'd be about $250 flight once everything's said and done to go out there and eat, so I might not do it. But I don't know. I have a rental that day, so I'm also skeptical to the COVID thing. I have to eat outside. I'm not going to be indoors or anything. I'm not like paranoid. I'm not a germaphobe. It's just I want to be as protected as I can be. So, especially seeing I'm teaching remotely from home. It's if I'm being that cautious, then I need to remain cautious. And flying a plane is a guilty pleasure, I guess, in times of COVID with that. But I do wear a mask and everything, and I'm very careful. So I really don't know, and that's only because I have the wife and kids and things pop up. But I'm planning on doing this weekend, sometime this weekend at least, and maybe Friday night, because I really don't go anywhere again due to COVID, because there's nowhere really to go anyways. And so maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday during the day. I did like a marathon this past Sunday. I did like 6 hours of flying on the simulator. Spit it out though. So I would say look for me this weekend if you're gonna join. But it'll pop up. You know, subscribe and like on YouTube. Push the follow button, jump on Twitch, and it pops up. If you go to simulataviation.com and join their Discord, it's supposedly popping up whenever I stream now, seeing that I'm an affiliate. I didn't really. Oh, I am there. Yeah. It says I'm on the Twitch affiliates thing, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. So it works. It's my first real flight being an affiliate at simulataviation.com. And yeah, hey, stop at any time, Aaron. Always a pleasure. Have a great night. And I guess if you're doing Guatemala, Mexico, or Mexico, I'd probably go for Mexico, even though U.S. is usually #1 in my books, even though we never win anything. So enjoy the game. All right, so we're right at the cusp there. I have an hour 9, and that's what I calculated, I believe. Or 10? Yeah, we'll just call it an hour 10, because maybe I went a little over that. But that's Lake Bend Ori, everybody. And our next checkpoint is Sierra 77, 6 minutes away. Let's get a really good look at this lake here, because this is one of the great visuals. Oh, starting to get to the rugged mountainous here. And look at that. Look at the reflections and the light. So now we'll get into the gorgeous scenery here. And getting to the Bitterroot Range and the Cabinet Mountains. So, really beautiful scenery out here. Can't go wrong with that, huh? Joker again is with us. He's flying with us. He's been flying with me since the beginning here on this flight. Appreciate that. If anyone else wants to join along, again, I'm just saying where we are in relation to things. I probably fly out of Libby, Sierra 59er, or, yeah, there's not many airports between now and then, so. And our next checkpoint is, again, Sierra 77, McGee Airport. Well, I'm not sure if we're going to see that. So what I'm going to say, that's halfway up this lake. So right about here on the lake. And I use that as my checkpoint just in case I can't see McGee Airfield, which is a field airport and everything. So we'll have to see. If you're following the at the top, we're about 60% done almost with our flight to Glacier Park International Airport in Kalispell, Montana. And if you're tuning in, I said I would let you see the route for the around the USA flights that I planned. We again started flying all these in the 172 in June, low and slow for the most part, and having fun at it. So I will show you on SkyVector the big plan here. Last year I did a little more direct route. This year I decided to do the perimeter of the United States. Try to keep the plane straight while I do this. So I started at my home base of Plymouth, Massachusetts, where I fly out of real life. We went all the way down the perimeter here, through the south. Right around here, we went to Microsoft Flight Simulator because it came out, and I've been flying it ever since. We went up the whole west coast, and tonight we're going from Moses Lake to Glacier Park International, so we're right here on this leg. And then we're just going to continue on to the perimeter, going back to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Hopefully we'll be done sometime in November. That's what I'm thinking. So, and I did check for seasons in this. Unfortunately, seasons are not in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it does do snow. So if it's snowing in real life, it'll show snow on the ground and stuff. So Microsoft, if you're listening, put some seasons back in. I know it's satellite data. No, it might take a while. Put them back in because it makes a difference, especially in the Northeast. Like right now, we're having all the leaves change color to red and orange and all that stuff. But they have awesome trees out here, a lot better than prepared. And one more time, our checkpoint is McGee Airport, Sierra 77, which is out there, which is, well, I don't know if we're going to see it or not. But also, you might see a posting for the Virtual USA Flying Club, which I'm a member of. We're an awesome club of general aviation pilots. We fly online on VATSIM, which I am connected to right now. We're just not having a lot of traffic out here, nor air traffic control. But on busy nights, we would have air traffic control, flight following us and everything. You can see that the weather is getting a little cloudy above us, which is fine. But see these mountains? That's why we're at 9,500 feet tonight. We anticipated that ahead of time. And let's check out for McGee and see if we can see it. Sierra 77. That'd be really hard to see it here. I don't think we have a chance of seeing that at all, to be honest with you. It's supposed to be somewhere out here. Maybe I should send out the drone. Alright, let's send out the drone. So, back in the plane, send the drone out. Here we go. It's like Star Wars. They send out the probes to the planets. But we'll see if we can see the airfield out here somewhere. That's it right there. That's McGee. So there's no way we were going to see that, but it is there. Back to the plane. And instead I will use halfway up Lake Bend Ori for my checkpoint, which is right about now-ish. I got an hour and 15. And that's what you do in the real life is you pick something else that can help you out there. I said an hour 16. I'll just call it like that because it's about almost halfway through an hour 15. Okay, next one is the Clark Fork River. And that's in 11 minutes. We're definitely going to be able to see that. That's a big river coming off of Lake Bend Ori. And again, that'll be 11 minutes from now. So, but longer flight tonight. Flight time of about 2 hours. We're halfway through it. flying everything by hand again. No autopilot. I've never used an autopilot in the real world. I fly everything by hand. Occasionally I'll do autopilot on the simulator, but I haven't done it in a while. You get comfortable with just flying the plane, so. Trimmed out pretty even tonight. I don't know what happened there, but I appreciate that. At first it was going a little nuts. So yeah, if any of you have any questions though, want to add to the conversation, please feel free to chat. And if not, just sit back and enjoy the ride and let me know if I could show anything to you that you think I'm missing out here in Washington going into Montana. No, that's the interesting. I'm actually in Idaho, actually. So we're going right over the state of Idaho, which I should have known, and we're about to cross into Montana. So I will let you know when we're in Montana, but the scenery definitely got a lot more interesting in Idaho, I think, personally. Not poo-pooing on eastern Washington, but it's a little flat there. No, not at all. Isn't it amazing how it just went from like flat farmland to like, oh, we're in the mountains again? And understandable because I believe, looking at my section now, this is like the very northern part of the Rockies in a way. So, again, that's another reason why I picked the perimeter. Because last time I did this flight, I went right over the Rockies and I was going up to like 12,500 feet. And the ceiling, the service ceiling in the 172, you can go up to 14,500. But you need oxygen in the real world if you're going to be up at those levels. So you always have supplemental oxygen. I didn't even have supplemental oxygen if I was doing this flight in real life, just in case. And, you know, I don't mean to be a nerd or anything, but I had one around here because I left it out of my flight bag. You carry one of these around in the real world, and I have two of them. It's just a pulse oximeter. So if you're at high altitude, you stick this just on you during the flight. All the nerdy stuff I have on my desk, I know. And it gives you your pulse and your oxygen concentration in your blood. If that's going down, that's when you stick the oxygen on, because you know you could have hypoxia and stuff like that. But I got a 97%. Rate slightly elevated at 73, but that's still not terrible. So usually it's in the 60s because I do bike, and I am taking better care of myself in my 40s than my 20s. But again, I was in original rock band endeavors then, so that was a secondary thought back then. But yeah, I have all those little fun tools in my flight bag, so. But yeah, really nice scenery. Again, Lake Bend Ori is still out there. Huge lake out here. The trees are awesome in the simulator. And again, there are quirks in the simulator still. This plane tends to float more than real life. But the scenery and the satellite imagery is fantastic. Just get seasons. That's all I ask. You have to get seasons. Because if you're flying in the Northeast right now, you're starting to see the reds and the oranges and all the stuff and the leaves and the trees, which I hate because I have to pick them up in my yard. But they're very nice for people who aren't from the Northeast. And some people come up here during the fall, like New Hampshire and stuff, just to see the trees change colors. They're like, wow. So I grew up with it. So yeah, it's nice to look at, but it's not like a life-changing thing for me anymore. All right. Again, our fuel, we're about 75% left or so. We did come full. And I estimate, because I didn't calculate fuel like I should have, but I estimate that we'll use about half of our fuel today. And we still have reserves, because I estimate 10 gallons per hour, even though it really burns about 8.7 to 9. Oh yeah, yeah. New England women are tough though. Not like in a bad way. They're just they stand up for themselves a lot more. So I gigged in Vermont and New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Almost got to Connecticut, but it was a lot different music business back then too. A lot of it was internet based. So we had interest from Sony Records And it was just interesting. It's not me pounding my chest. They just came and said, "We like what we're hearing. We like what we're seeing. You know, let us know." And then the band fell apart. So, oh, well, that happens too. You know, that happens anywhere, though, right? There's no such thing as perfect, right? I mean, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. So. But all right, this river right here is what we're looking for, and we are officially in Montana. We just crossed over into Montana, by the way. And this is the river that we're gonna fly over and call that as our checkpoint. I gotta scroll up for that message there. I played commercial rock music. Yeah, that was my passion. I mean, obviously, I went to college for music, and I could play any style, but I was more of a songwriter type. That was my passion. And we won some awards and stuff on online again, because that was the market in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and that's how Sony, I think, found us. We won like track of the day in the whole country on GarageBand.com, best guitars, this and that, and it was a good time, man. And then the band slowly fell apart. So, and I was teaching already too, because again, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I would have left the teaching job if we were to try to get. If we got offered something and we were going to go for it, I would have done it. But again, I was in my 20s. I had time. And then went to the cover band thing. And, you know, that got kind of boring after a while. It was nice to do. And, you know, you got paid a little bit more. It wasn't anything to live on. Especially in the Northeast. We're not like a touristy area. So you think it was touristy, but honestly, the good gig nights are like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's really hard to make a living just at performing here in the Northeast. But if you go to like Texas and stuff, I'd go visit my roommate in San Antonio, and like he could play any night of the week. I know it's slowed down because of COVID, but they had a lot of tourists and stuff. So you play like on a Tuesday night and still get paid like $200 for the gig and stuff. It's not like that up here in the Northeast. We're very business work oriented up here, so it has to have a college degree. Everyone, you know, this and that, and you know, college degrees are nice, but it's not for everybody. And I'm one who has 2 college degrees. That kind of tells you something, but it's not for everybody. And just, you know, people have to realize that there's nothing wrong with working with your hands or learning a trade or something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, look at me. I'm doing the DIY videos. I made all the money where I pay for my flying that way, and I did that out of spite because no one really taught me how to fix things growing up. I learned myself, trial and error, and got things done the right way, and learned all these skills, and I use it to my benefit to save money and help others, and also pay for my flying. 3 things. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's very respectable. My uncle, he did like oil heating equipment. He never really did well at school, and he got a job with the electric company here, and you know, he's single and everything. He got divorced like early, but he never had a problem with making money for the electric company, and that was a union job too. So like half the time, if there was a storm, he'd wait in the truck till they call him. So he got paid just to wait around till he was needed. Half the time, they put them on call. So there's some good jobs out there. They're few and far in between compared to what they used to be. But look at me, I'm a music teacher. I'm the oddball. My mom hung up the phone on me the first time I left computer science. I did computer science first, and I liked it. I just didn't want to sit in front of a computer for 48 hours straight like I did in college, and I knew I wasn't going to survive on that. So, yeah, and a lot of things like that, you know. So it's what you make of it. You have to know your worth and go and get it. So. And I'm a teacher saying that, by the way. I was supposed to get kids prepared for college. That seems to be what they want me to do. And I don't know. I always look out for those kids that maybe the straight-ahead education of state-mandated testing and stuff isn't them. And I'm like, you know, what are you good at? And you can make money at it. All right, we are crossing over Clark Fork River. Very majestic river right here. Very beautiful colors in the mountains. Yeah, but college is good for stuff. I mean, I'm on both sides of things. So I'm not allowed to talk about my job too much, though, because again, if a student pops in and sees me talking about it and they don't like what I have to say, you know. Unfortunately, I've been trained as a principal, so I know the score of that game. So I'm not allowed to go into opinions and politics and stuff. Because I study the court cases, and let me just say that online and teachers, you do have to watch out what you say. So I think the score in the Supreme Court is 3 for school, 0 for teachers. They did some stupid things though. Alright, that was about an hour 26. I said an hour 27. I'll adjust the time slightly. But I also believe in a well-rounded education. So that's just me, so that they can learn things like, hey, maybe you do like mechanics, maybe you don't know it. But a lot of the parents in my district push for college only. So I can say that, and that is a fact. And again, there's nothing wrong with that if you're that type of person. So if you want to do a trade, we also have trade school, technical trade schools that you could switch to for high school. The problem is my high school is a very small district, so I lose a lot of kids that way. And then the band grows smaller and smaller. And they got rid of my coworker in a non-dubious way for that. But I'm safe pretty much because I raised the numbers. But I'm pretty much safe because most of the most tenured teacher there. But it's funny that they say they want this and that, and then when you ask for support, they didn't really give it to me. But, you know, that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, getting a little bit of winds here. You can see that we had an updraft there. So we got to trim it out a little bit better, and I got to keep an eye on my airspeed here. Maneuvering speed, I believe, is 104. So I'll reduce the RPMs just slightly and keep that down for any abrupt winds. Next checkpoint will be Route 2, and that's on the sectional. So we'll be looking for Route 2 up ahead, and there's not a lot to go by here. So we're looking for a big, awesome Joker. How's it look? Does it look good? Just give us a preview. You don't have to give us like big specifics, but it looked really nice last time. It was really flat out there with a lot of mountains on the right side, from what I remember. My father, he never graduated high school, and he went to the Army. They basically shaped him out there, you know. He needed something like that, though. So, and look at, he married my mother, who was a teacher. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's really nice. See, I'm looking forward to that because I remember it was really nice scenery, and I had I think it was Orb X scenery, prepared version 5 and 4 for Glacier Park International. On this, we're just going to use the default, so, which probably won't look as accurate, but the scenery VFR satellite will look awesome. So, and we did see a rainbow in this when we were out in Oregon. We were at oh god, what's that place called? Come back to me. Is it Arcadia? No, that's Washington. There's a place where the Goonies house is. I can't remember it right now. We checked out the Goonies house too in that video. So if you want to see that, all the streams are archived on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. You can check that out. But it was Oregon, Astoria. No, I keep saying Astoria like Washington. Was it Astoria? Might have been Astoria, Oregon. Yeah, I think that was it. But look at that. Starting to see some, I don't think that's snow per se, it's more of a, what it might be. But it's looking really nice right there. And Route 2 is coming up, but the atmospherics in the simulator too are really, really realistic from what I'm seeing from my point of view as a pilot. Not that I've ever flown over a lot of mountains like this, because I'm in the Northeast, but yeah, it does look like rock outcroppings. It does. Yeah. Got some nice little lakes on the mountains there. And Snowshoe Peak on the sectional out here somewhere. That's at 8,700 feet. So that's again why I picked 9,500, just to make sure I had enough clearance over everything. The typical rule is to try to have 1,000 feet over your tallest object you're gonna fly over. So, but the good news is the clouds are relatively high, so we haven't had problems with trying to dodge clouds or anything. So, and Route 2 again will be coming up in front of us. There'll be a big highway going from north to south, so we should be able to see it, and that'll be our checkpoint. But again, the closest we have to this in New England is New Hampshire and the White Mountains and stuff, which I really do want to fly to someday. But that will be a more expensive flight. That again will be about $250. Like I said, for Keene, New Hampshire, that'd be about $250 round trip with the rental. So I have to space those out in between the shorter flights. But the good news, that'd be across country, so I could count that for hours towards the instrument rating. And I'd like to start that instrument rating training next year, so that way I'm just a safer pilot. I wouldn't even really fly in IFR conditions on purpose, but unless I really had to, or obviously I'd keep the skills up still, but I wouldn't go anywhere far at first. I also have real world traffic on this. So my X-Bell Flight Simulator injects real world flights. And if you get close enough to them, they say like the flight number or the tail number, and you can look it up in Flight Radar 24 and see what they are and stuff. That's pretty cool. So, but the sun is setting slightly here too, so it's nice to get that viewpoint. But it looks really, really good on the simulator. And knock on wood, my simulator hasn't crashed in the longest time. So that was real wood, by the way. And hoping it stays that way. But we are 28 minutes out. We're 52 and a half nautical miles out. So we're getting there. And it says we'll arrive at 318 Zulu, but yeah, that's real time, by the way, too. So that would be 27 minutes, yeah. So we're getting there. But hey, what's going on, Marty? Everyone, that's Marty from Simulated Aviation. Again, I was talking about how I became an affiliate the other night. And I talked about the Orbex giveaway. There is an Orbex giveaway if you want to check out Simulated Aviation. It's quite simple. It's just simulatedAviation.com. I'm going to put some panel lights on here. Getting a little darker. I never did check the outside air temperature, which is 19 degrees Fahrenheit. So, oh, I don't want that cabin air on right now. It's kind of cold enough in there already. But it's all good. But yeah, we have a working relationship to just promote the hobby of simulation flying. And I was bouncing a lot of ideas off them about when I started flying. It seemed to be more, I don't know how to say this in a not bad way, a centralized thing. There were a lot more virtual airlines. There wasn't as much general aviation as like what I like to fly now, but thank you. Thank you so much. You might see the Simulated Aviation banner pop up. I put that within the rotating banners. But yeah, we're currently up over Route 2. In fact, you can see it right there, I believe. So that's our next checkpoint. Yep. You can't miss that. So that's definitely a checkpoint to be picked. And that will be about a minute 34, 35. And that's what I calculated, minute 35. Hour 35, yeah, minute 35, that was good. So next checkpoint will be Carson Airport, McGregor Lake. And that's in 12 minutes. So again, we're doing this like real world general aviation, picking our checkpoints, checking as we go, and checking out the sights, looking out the window for things. Obviously, I wouldn't like go outside the plane and look, but I want to show a little bit of the scenery because we can. Again, if we take the drone out, you get a good view of everything. So speed it up a little bit here. That's Route 2 here in Montana. Look at that lighting and everything too, because the sun is setting slightly in the west. I mean, you can't beat this. They just have to get some seasonal textures, work on the little quirks that they still have. And Glacier Park is out here. I'm going to try to do this fast because, again, you can't fly the plane when you're using the drone. A good idea to use autopilot, but I'm not doing that right now. So, don't know if we're going to see it right now, but it is out there. Well, anyways, I gave you a little view of the mountains, at least. Let's go back to the plane. Push 5 on the number pad, goes right back. And get out of drone mode so I can actually get on course again. So that's the one detriment of using the drone and not using autopilot is You will veer to the right. Usually. I don't know why it's the right. I thought it'd be more the left, but because of the prop and everything. That's cool. Alright, Carson Airport. Luckily we don't move fast, so we're not that far, of course. Carson Airport, we might have problems seeing that, which is why I also said McGregor Lake. We'll see if we can see that in the distance past the airport. But again, GPS also helps us because the sectional just plots me along. And obviously this will help you too, you know, if you're going direct, but it doesn't have like the scenery waypoints and stuff like that that the sectional does. So, but always carry a paper sectional if you're flying for real. Because if the tablet dies, I have my phone still as backup, as the VAR program in there too. But if that dies, then you need a paper sectional, which has the same stuff with the route marked on it, so you can see where you are. And that's how I trained. I didn't have the electronics when I trained. Better learn the traditional way and be good. There's a Joker 79903 that flew with us tonight. He's already there. He took the TBM over, and it's nice to see that he's kind of waiting. That's very nice of you, bro. And I can't wait to see that view with you when we get there. So 22 minutes out, everybody. 22. This is one of my longer flights. So, but beautiful scenery. Way better than it was in Prepared when I did these Run the USA flights last year. So. Yeah. A lot more interesting than Prepared version 5. And I'm not poo-pooing on it. That was very good for what it was, but you can't match satellite imagery even if it is from Bing. I prefer Google myself, but this basically was a big showcase for Microsoft's Bing services and satellite imagery. But it is looking good. From what I understand, the data is from 2014 though, so they will have to update it over time. Hopefully, which I think they will. It's just like a big showcase product again to show off their GPS satellite imagery services. It's been relatively calm, just like they said in the METARs. And again, we're using Rex weather for the first time. Let's add Glacier Park in here. Favorite airports. Maybe it will give us the conditions there. Maybe it won't because it didn't give us conditions for our earlier point, but it's right here. And it actually had the add button pop up, so that's cool. Let's see if they, it says 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll see if anything pops up. I'm not going to leave it there because it's going to get in the way of my flying a little bit. But if it does pop up anything, I'll let you know. It is reading the METAR data, though, because it's looking very much like what the METAR says on SkyVector. And again, the METAR is typically updated every hour on this. If you're in real world and you're dialing into the radios, it'll have the weather station on the field most of the time and have it updated to the minute. So, but it says no wind, 10 square miles of visibility clear at Glacier Park, and that was at 0155 Zulu. So in my time, that'd be minus 4 hours. So that's what, 12. 9:55, so that was about an hour ago, so it should update pretty soon on the METAR. 32 degrees out here. Pretty cold. 19 degrees outside air temperature right now in our plane. And I kind of like this background music. And again, I handpicked these songs. They're copyright-free songs, so I don't have any copyright strikes should we ever have these on YouTube. Well, they are on YouTube, but you know what I mean. If they're on YouTube and they try to take them down, I don't want anything to happen with that, because we worked hard on these. And it's looking really good. Glacier Park International coming up. And so isn't Carson Airport, which is a private airport off to our right. But again, I'm not sure if we're going to see it. This might be part of McGregor Lake out there. So we'll have to check that out. That's my secondary checkpoint out there. Just in case I can't see McGregor. McGregor. What movie is that from? Is that Rob Roy? I don't know if you know the movie Rob Roy with Liam Neeson, but that was a good movie. And I think his character's name in that movie was McGregor. Can't remember that, with the evil dude in that movie saying McGregor. I'll never say that again because I'll bore everyone to death
I
and
want
you
to do
leave.
barrel
So.
rolls and loop-the-loops. Yeah,
Oh,
all
hey,
that
thanks a
kind of
lot,
stuff.
Marty. Thank you for following me on
That kind of flying
Twitch.
here.
Appreciate it.
Dangerous and irresponsible.
Kind of expected it, honestly, as an affiliate, but I do appreciate it either way. And again, we're testing out all those wonderful sounds. That's the most popular one because people have been subscribing here and there. And that is from the movie Space Cowboys. So if you haven't seen that movie, that's an awesome movie. Space Cowboys with, oh God, no, see, I can't remember anybody. Dirty Harry guy. Come on, what's his name? Clint Eastwood. Thank you. See that? It was weird how I thought about that. My brain works differently than other people's. I thought about Back to the Future, where Marty McFly was called Clint Eastwood. That was in the third one, so. Oh, cool. Well, that's the first, everyone. We have done 100 messages today with Restream, which I used to stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And no, I am not being paid to say that. I'm just saying I use it. So, because I get a lot of followers on YouTube, but I also wanted to do, Tommy Lee Jones, stuff like that. It's a good movie. That whole scene, the reason why I picked that out is when I did go for my first Discovery flight before I actually started the real training. My wife told me she reminded me of that guy that had his birthday. Oh, I want to do barrel rolls. I want to do loop-de-loops. And she thought that that's what I was going to be like when I was taking the Discovery flight. But I wasn't. I still had a big smile on my face, but I was not looking to even do stalls at that point. It was just to get up there and fly. So it was a good time. But all right, that Carson Airport's coming up there. That could be McGregor Lake. Let's take a look outside. Or this could be McGregor Lake. And the airport, we'll see if we can see it. I doubt it. Maybe, maybe not. It's all about comparing lakes right now. There's a lot of them out here. There's a road going down too, so it might be down here. Donald Sutherland, James Garner. James Garner was awesome too, yeah. And that whole, the scene there where they get the movie food, that was cool. It was like a revenge thing. Now I want to watch that movie again. So if I can't sleep tonight, I'll probably put it on my tablet as I'm in bed. That's an awesome movie. I tried telling my flight instructor, and he's a 71-year-old gentleman. He's as old as my father. But he was a co-worker with me. He was the science teacher in the town I worked in. Well, I do still work in. He retired. And he hasn't missed it since, by the way. But I told him about that. I was like, you gotta see that, but I don't think he's seen the movie still. He should watch it. He was an airline pilot for a while. Then he was a gym teacher. Then he did the airline pilot thing. He did like Harbor Airlines and stuff like that. He flew the Gulfstream. Like I'm talking the old propeller version, Gulfstream 3 or 2. And then he got certified as a science teacher, and he did that, and happily retired, but still doing flight sim. Son, what's going on, Tim? Again, this is Tim from Simulated Aviation, everybody. My newest partner in crime. We're trying to promote, again, simulation flight, and they are doing a pretty good job at trying to get it all centralized here. And it's not just general aviation. Virtual airlines, basically online flight shows, stuff like that. So, well, thank you. That's actually not green screen, believe it or not. That's a virtual background with XSplit camera, which I might be replacing with NVIDIA Broadcaster entirely if they actually get rid of gaming chairs. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a gaming chair. And XSplit is the only virtual background I've seen that takes out the gaming chair. And then I made the graphic behind me. I actually did a little photoshopping and stuff. And this is the interior of the 172, if you notice. So we took a little photoshopping, made this cutout like transparent, and then we recorded some sky and put it in there. So, but yeah, I also have a nighttime version because I'm geeky like that. So, all right, we're gonna have to start our descent soon. We're about 28 nautical miles out. I'm looking at the mountains here and the peaks just to make sure we're going to make it, because it is rather hilly around here. But it's going to drop right out around Glacier Park from what I remember. Tallest peak up ahead is 6,297 feet according to the sectional. So we could start a slight descent after that, I would think, and then make our way down to Glacier Park International. Pattern altitude there is about 4,000 feet. So Yeah, it'd be cool if I could do that, but that'd take a lot of work. And I did my best, so I might make different ones though over time. But I've been working a lot on the graphics lately and the music selection. We finally have a library of 60 songs. Last time I only had 30, so I do work on things in between working in my real world job as a teacher. But keep working at it. I love being creative. That's the musician in me. So, and again, I did computer science before then, so I love computers and technology as well. Don't remember all my programming from back in the day, but it does kick in occasionally. So, me, I make time. I make time. Call me crazy, but I used to listen to those motivational videos on YouTube about balancing. I still don't do a good job of balancing sometimes, and sometimes it goes too much on this side or too much on the family side, and it's just a fine balance. And I have a very understanding wife who's lovely and wonderful, and I'm not just saying that. So Carson should be right up our right here, so we'll take one more look, and that's little Bitterroot Lake. So Lake McGregor would be out there, so we could call that at least, but I don't think we're going to see the airport out there. So it's good that we knew that there was a lake behind there. And we will call it according to the GPS. So I have a minute 46, 47. Like I said, well, I just lost my flight log. It's okay. I put it on the top of the tablet here. I use this program called Right On PDF, which is a Samsung thing. I hate Apple products. That's just me, though. If you like Apple products, don't hate me. I just don't like Apple products. Just me. So hour 47, I'll take it. All right, next one's Ashley Lake, and then it's just Glacier Park International. And again, we're just trying to get over these peaks here of 6,297 feet, which would be right here. But you're starting to see Glacier Park out there. I'm just not an Apple person. I feel very limited. I built my own PC, first time since 2002. We built it. I showed my 6-year-old son then. He's now 7. But we built this together, the i9 with the 2080 RTX. It's gotten a lot simpler than it was in 2002, by the way. Because I remember having to do like the little jumpers and stuff. No, it's somewhere that you just let the BIOS do its thing, and even auto overclocks if you want it to, and then you tweak it from there. So, and I did drop about 200 feet, not paying attention. So, still cockpit. No kidding, we can still talk. But it's funny because when I fly in real world, I got like the whole passenger brief there. I'm like sterile cockpit when I'm landing, taking off, or taxiing. Everyone has to be quiet. So I got the whole thing on the tablet here. Very, very, very professional private pilot. Very, and you have to be. You have to be safe. So, but we're starting to get that sun setting, like I said we probably would. Take a look at that. It's gonna be gorgeous. You know it. Look at that. I'm taking a screenshot of that. So that's why it flashed. That's a screenshot, everyone. And looking really good here. Wow, look at that reflection way out in the distance. It's amazing. But Glacier Park, you see these mountains and stuff. That's literally on the side there. We're about over the tallest peak. After we get over here, we'll start to descend slowly down. And again, go down to 4,000 feet MSL and set up a landing at Glacier Park International, which we're heading for direct. For some reason, my GPS just messed up. It's going to Europe, everybody, which I would not make it. I would not make it. This thing has like 5 hours of fuel at most. But I'm good. My sectional's clearly showing me where I'm going. I just don't understand why it's doing a European route right now. So let me just fix that really fast. Again, this is really quick to fix. I could just do direct to Glacier Park by pushing my finger on it and holding it, which is what I do in the roll if I have to. Direct, and bam, it sets it right there and gives me a route. So, in fact, that might be it out there. So we're going to start a descent right now. Cruising descent. That means we pull back the throttle, which is not really showing me on the RPMs. What's going on in the RPMs? That's weird. There's about Joker again. That was weird. The simulator kept flying, but it delayed my input. We gotta be around 2,100, and it should descend at about 500 feet per minute. But look at the moon. That's an amazing moon. This simulator, I'll tell you, some of these visuals are great. Problems with the taxi lights, I hate them. And the airport signs need a big drastic overhaul because none of the taxiways are correct. But other than that, we're good. Let's get some weather for Glacier Park. 132625. That's on the sectional. I also have it in my flight log. That's where we get all this information from. But you do have it planned, so you know what you're doing. And this should be Glacier Park right out here.
Kilo Golf Papa India Airport Information India 0100 Zulu. Wind 033 at tree. Visibility none.
Great.
Tide condition clear. Temperature 6. Dew point 1 tree. Altimeter tree 0.45. Visual runway 20 in use.
20.
Landing and departing runway 20. DSR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have India.
India. I have to listen to it one more time. 033 at 3. That's good. They give me a runway?
Kilo Golf Papa
Yeah, they did.
India
20.
Airport Information India 0100 Zulu. Wind 033 at tree. Visibility none. Sky condition clear. Temperature 6. Dew point 1 tree. Altimeter tree 0.45.
Yeah.
Visual runway 20 in use.
Yeah, runway 20,
Landing and departing
which
runway 20.
is a little odd,
DSR aircraft
but
say
they
direction
can
of
do that.
flight.
It's the
All
bigger
aircraft
runway.
read back hold short instructions.
They also have runway 2, which is what
Advise
I would
controller
think they
on
would do in the
initial
real world.
contact you have India.
We have India. All right, there is no air traffic control on VATSIM tonight. I'm gonna make one more check of that, and I
Kilo
use.
Golf Papa India Airport
All right, and that for you. I'm on the VATSIM Unicom instead, which is 122.8. Has nothing to do with Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer. But as you can see, VATtastic kind of tells you where the controllers are. These are centers, and we are right here going into Glacier Park. So we're all on our own. So we're going to treat it as a non-towered controlled airport, which is fine. And we'll just call it like we're on Unicom and everything's good. So VATSIM makes you go on 122.8 wherever you are for Unicom. Man, that is an awesome wound. And again, we're going to descend down to 4,000 feet. Let me double check that. Yeah, 4,000 feet for pattern and altitude. And if we're going 20, that means the runway is going this way. Heading this way. We will, well, let's see if it's a right or left pattern. And again, I'm looking at the chart supplement for this. It's a left pattern. So what we could do is we could overfly the airport, make a teardrop, just a little loop back, and do a left 45 downwind. I think I'm going to do that. That'd probably be the safest thing to do. So we'll descend for a little bit more. We'll go to about 6,000. We'll see. We can do 5,500. Send down to 5,500. Say that we're going to overfly the airport, and then we'll do a teardrop back. Left 45 downwind for runway 20. Land that way, and we're good. So that is what we are doing. And you have to think about these things when you're at a non-towered airport. How are you going to enter? The safest way, again, is a 45-degree angle into the downwind, whether it be right or left. This one's left, because that's what it says on the chart supplement. It's a left traffic pattern. And that way you can see all the traffic as you come in. Do the downwind, land down on the runway, and you're all set. So that's what we're doing. I think I explained that the right way. You would have to know what downwind is. But that moon, look at that moon. It's like an autumn moon just coming up from the mountains. But this is what I said. I see it drops out. And then you have the big mountains here, which Glacier Park is famous for. Created by glaciers, obviously, in the past. So. And let me tell you something else. I have time for this stuff because of COVID, because I'm not going up or anything. I get exercise by running my e-bike without the motor. I only use the motor when I really have to, and it folds up to go on planes, so that way I can use the motor and get around. But yeah, it's really nice. Let's get a nice view of this. And thank you to About Joker 79903 for waiting all this time for our arrival. He's been watching the stream and everything tonight, so I appreciate that. And I'm glad you got to see the view with me, because it is gorgeous. The skies and everything, the moon, the sunset in the west. I mean, It's got a little of everything tonight. That is amazing. I did start a couple hours before real time to make sure I'd get here and have some daylight, but even the streetlights are coming on now. See that? I love the reflection off the cockpit here there too. That's awesome. So yeah, it's a really nice simulator. They just have to fix a couple more things, and I want to keep the glare shield. I want to get my not panel, not radio, not glare shield, floodlight. Here we go. That just lights up down here, so you can see the trim wheel and everything in the throttles. But the planes I fly, they're not this nice. They have these switches and stuff, but they're not this nice. They're not with all this. I have a GPS. We have the what is this? The 530. We have this on one of the planes, maybe two. They're the more expensive rentals. So the 172 PI fly is only VFR certified, and it has like this little old 200 series GPS. I don't even use it. I just use my tablet, honestly. But I like that one again because it carries up to 2,400 pounds total. And my last flight, I flew around the area and just landed at various airports, a couple hours. Wanted to work on my landings in the 172, which did get better. And anyways, I landed at New Bedford Regional Airport, which is a airport very close to Plymouth. They have a good restaurant there, and they have a nice open patio. So I for the second time in 6 months at a restaurant, and it was good. And they have a playground for children right where the general aviation planes park, so I had like kids looking at me, and of course I'm doing the whole teacher thing of, hey, what's going on? Yeah, nice to see you. And they're all about the plane, like, this the aileron. So I rent the plane, so I typically don't let them go in them, which is kind of a bummer, I know, but I am on the hook if anything goes wrong. So I mean, if it was my son, that's one thing, but if it's just random people, but I do try to talk them up. I have my backup radio. I was letting them listen to air traffic control as I was getting the plane ready. So I tried, you know. Okay, we're getting to 5,500. We're about to enter Class D airspace, which the ceiling is 5,500. So, and let's call it like the real world. Glacier Park traffic says United Echo Foxtrot 5 miles to the west. We're going to overfly the airport at 5,500 and set up a left 45 downwind for runway 20, Glacier Park. Yeah, that's really nice. I love the moon too. It's like you got a little of everything. You got the sunset, you got the moon, you got the street lights coming out here. This wasn't like prepared. It had night lighting, but it didn't even come close to this. This is fantastic because it would be fully pitch black and you couldn't see anything in prepared. Like you'd see roads, and that's about it. But this you can still see stuff, and yeah, it's evening. It's very lifelike. So again, stars are coming out. Those are real stars. Here's the, I don't know if that's the Big or Little Dipper. These are the things that, you know, when you fly, you're like, how the heck can I do this? This is amazing. And I get all giddy, like a little schoolgirl. It's like, ee, because it's an amazing thing. And you work really hard for it, but it's an awesome thing to just, it's a very liberating and awesome thing to just say, I'm going to get in this plane today and I'm going to fly wherever I want to. Of course, the only thing that's holding me back is money. So, it's the only thing that holds any pilot back. It's just money. In fact, I had my mug from this morning's coffee. It says, caution, aviation can be hazardous to your wealth. So, that's the lifestyle right there, people. Right there. That was the coffee mug for this morning as I was teaching private band lessons. Alright, so again, we're going to overfly the airport, which is right here. Runway 20 should be this one right here. We're going to start descent as soon as we're kind of like over here, down to 4,000. Do a teardrop, turn around, 45, left downwind, and land on 20. It's dark, yeah, but it's not like pitch black. I can only see lighted roads and nothing else, and some runways. You know, so it's pretty like. Your game, it might be dark because you have live time. I actually backed it up an hour or two, so that's why mine's still kind of like sunsetting. So, again, I want a little daylight while I was flying. All right, we're gonna keep our descent going down now to 4,000. And again, we will call up on air traffic control when we're doing a R45. We'll report how far out we are on the 45 and keep giving position reports. Anyone on that sim will hear you as long as they're tuned into the Unicom. And it's very sparse out here. But if you do the Virtual USA Flying Club where we have flying events and stuff, you gotta listen to that radio like real life, so that way you can maintain separation and everything. So I do recommend, there's a little banner that'll pop up below. Wait, let me, this way. Yeah, right there. I had to go reverse there. Of the Virtual USA Flying Club. And again, Simulated Aviation, now an affiliate, and they're still getting a couple more things up there, but it's official. We would like to put more emphasis on the simulation flying community. And even though I don't do the virtual airline thing like I did in my 20s, and I'm still flying like a real pilot on general aviation, that is my passion now. So that is my release from reality. We're gonna head out to the left here a little bit. Clear on the left because you'd be looking for any traffic. And even the Microsoft Flight Simulator traffic, you notice that it's just Joker down there waiting for me. So, but again, I'm using not the real life weather from the simulator. I'm using Rex Weather Force, which is pretty good. I like it better than the Microsoft weather. And you can set to any time you want, and it'll give you still real world weather just at whatever time you have it set to. That's pretty much what's happening right now. So, all right, we give a visual look here. We're about 5 miles out. So we'll turn in here until we see the airport. Then line up a 45 for runway 20. And again, pattern altitude is 1,000 feet above the MSL altitude of the airport. It's 2,977 there according to the sectional. So we just estimate that roughly at 4,000 feet above 3,000. That's exactly where we get that number from. So we want to be at 4,000 when we go into this pattern around the airport. And then I'll show you where we do the descent. You know, we do it just like real life here. So obviously, you know, but gotta find the airport first. Joker's a big visual point right now. So that's cool. But we also have the GPS to back this up, so. Alright, we're almost at a 45-degree angle. We aim for the middle of the airfield. We still have to get a little bit lower, but again, we're 5 miles out, and we're only 500 feet away from that. So we'll keep going lower and lower until we get to 4,000. I'll trim down a little bit. 45-degree angle, that's what we're on. The airport's right here. It's a little hard to see. The blue lights will kind of give you the taxiways. Glacier Park International traffic, Cesar Attica Foxtrot, 4 miles out on the 45 left downwind for runway 20, Glacier Park International. And that's what you do. And then they'd be looking for you, you'd be listening, seeing if there's any other traffic. And if they call out, you look for them. But there's nothing here except for Joker, who's already on the ground, so. Still a little high, but we're okay, we're not that far off. If you're a jet, you'd be 500 feet above this. You'd be 1,500 feet, so you'd be at 4,500, not 4,000. 4,000's for like piston planes and non-turboprops. So now what we're doing now is we're making a visual check here. We want the runway to be about halfway up this wing strut when we're on downwind. So it's very much a estimation game, and you just kind of get that down by practicing pattern so many times. And you're not always going to be perfect all the time, but you should be generally in the ballpark. So we're about there, right about, I'm going to say right about now. So we're turning downwind. Again, we look on the left lane traffic. There is none. We're at 4,000 feet, so we'll level off a little bit. Maybe give a little more RPMs. Level out. Look at the vertical speed. Trimming down a little bit and turning more on course here. The way we do this is 20 should be behind us, so I'm going to line it up like this, but there is wind involved. There's only 3 knots though, so it's not that bad. This is a long runway probably because we're at 3,000 MSL, so with a higher density altitude, if I got that right in my head. We're across from there, so we're going to go to 1,700. We we start our descent here. When we cross from the threshold, we're going to level off 110. We put 10 degrees of flaps in, and we angle down slightly. I'm saying all this stuff fast, I know. I'm sorry. Aim for about 500 feet per minute, and should get down to about 80 knots. So we're going to level this off just a little bit to get down there. And we pick a visual point on where to turn our basing. That I'm not as familiar with this airport. We'll probably turn right around here. We're about halfway up the wing strut, maybe a little far out. So again, it's more of an estimate. It's not a perfect thing. We're going to turn base right about now. Should be about 1700 RPMs, but we're all about airspeed now. 80 knots is where we want to be. Looking at this, we should line up at 20, and then also, it's hard in the simulator to do this, but in the real world, you'll be able to like kind of see out your left and line up. It's right there. Got some nice bossa nova music here, jazz bossa nova. Notice that we're still descending down at about 80 knots. Might be a little low, but we're right about there. Okay, now we should be about 1500. We add in 20. We want to be about 70, but I have a feeling that we're going to be a little far out here. So I'm going to turn final, because that peripheral vision is terrible in the simulator. And by having an extended little final here, we have enough time to set us up, because the peripheral was pretty bad there. And when we get near the runway, we'll put the last 10 degrees of flaps in. And we should be about 65, 60 when we land. But we're very low, so we just got to keep it level and keep the RPMs up there. And that will change. Again, I said we were going to probably be a little low. Still good. Still see the runway. There you go. So you got one white. 70 knots still. Keeping an eye on a little of everything. 2. So we're good in the glide scope. 30 degrees. That's full flaps. And now we'll let out the throttle a little bit. Try to get down to 65-ish. And we'll ride that in. I'll see my airport diagram so I know where the heck I'm going. Here we go. Alright. Here we go. And that's how you land the 172. Those are the standard things we do. And obviously that will change with gusts and stuff. We only have 3 knots. 30 on this. Okay, throttle out. Let it flare. We're going to pick up the nose a little bit. Stay off the nose wheel. We want to land on the main gear. Big runway. And there we go. We just touched down. Go more in the center. Flaps up. And right now we'd pull back on the yoke in the real world to have aerodynamic braking, but this doesn't do well because it wants to fly again. So that's not lifelike at all. So I'm going to add some brakes, even though I never really use brakes as much in the real world. We'll follow this yellow line off to the left, which should be Bravo 4. Clear the runway, we'll call it. And did you notice I didn't call like base and final? Because if I'm focusing on the flying and I need to, I don't call it, especially when there's no traffic there. But if it's really congested, you want to do that. Glacier Park traffic says Nautical Foxtrot clear of runway 20, Glacier Park. Right, the FBO is right in front of us, so that's where we're going to go. There's Joker over there, but the FBO is right in front of me, so that's where I'm going to park. That's the reason why, because I have the airport diagram. U.S. Customs is also out there, so let's not piss them off. They can make your day terrible. I've never been having a terrible day of customs, by the way, so if you happen to be a customs agent, all power to you, because I'm sure you put up with a lot. The FBO is right over here with all these planes. And we got here in 2 hours and 9 minutes. So it was just about right on all the planning, and that's why we planned, because you gotta do fuel and everything. And I say we have about half the fuel. We're about a little bit more than half, but it's better to have more than less. And we'll park right over here in between these 2 planes. So right near about Joker 79993. Hey, thanks for sticking around, bud. You didn't really have to do that, but you did, and I appreciate that. So alright, I think we're about right? Yeah, maybe a little further ahead on the right too. I also didn't do my check after, but it'd be flaps up, strobes off, and trim set for takeoff. I leave everything else on for visibility reasons, even though they say take off the landing light and the taxi light. I always leave those on. All right, securing ELT verify silent avionics off. And that includes all lights except for beacon. So that way you take any stress off the electrical system. You can leave the panel lights on. That's not a big thing. You turn them off after. Now we're at mags off. So we pull out, mixture, full lean. Mags off, master off, beacon off. And you see this light right here? That's just part of the panel lights. You just have to turn it off. And you're all set. All right, let's take a look at Glacier Park International at dusk, or even nighttime, if you will. And then what I'll do is I'll change the time in the simulator if I can. These are very generic buildings right there, so. But they are a place where the terminals usually are. Kind of miss the Vorbeck scenery, which I don't think they've made for this yet, for this airfield. But Joker again, thank you for coming out tonight, bud. Really appreciate that. And again, it kind of takes you for the majestic scene of the mountains. So let's try to make this daytime. And I'm just going to disconnect from VATSIM, actually. Let me do that first. Disconnecting. And that way I have no problem with any air traffic control that pops up here. I'll set the parking brake. All right, good. So if you want to do daytime, you go to weather. You set it for daytime. And look. Bam! All right. And now we can see what it looks like during the daytime. Those are the mountains in Glacier National Park. Very flat. Very... Uh-oh. Don't crash on me. This is terrible. Oh, good. We got the nice rivers and stuff. I would love to visit here someday in real life. I think it'd be awesome. And when my son's old enough, I also like to go on like real camping trips other than just the backyard. We like to camp here and there during the summers. But we have a nice yard to do that. We have a fire pit and everything, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that is where the park is right there. Beautiful music to go with it too, so enjoy. Glacier Park International, everybody. And that's the airport. We're parked down there on the apron over there. So, really beautiful. Would love to fly here someday. That won't happen, but I'd love to fly there someday. Yeah, pretty fitting music, so. Well, usually when it does those glitches, it's downloading scenery. I think that's what it's doing half the time. But I did have it crash one time with the droid. Again, when I went to go look at Disneyland when I was in California on these flights. So, if you hold down F2, the drone moves a lot faster. See that? So you can make it move faster. So really, really nice scenery. Even if it is just the stock scenery. But if they just touch this up a little bit more, it'd be awesome. Oh, it sucks. I'm sorry it crashed. Well, you can see the stream at least. I know I don't really watch any streams when yeah, that sucks. But you see, it's still kind of loading too. So, and I have pretty fast internet. So you can see it takes a little time still. The water in this simulator is fantastic too. So, but this is why I do the around the USA flights. I know that some people call me insane. Ooh, look at that mountain. That looks beautiful too. Some people call me insane for saying, "Why do you take a 172? It'll take you forever." But this is what I'm talking about. You get to see the scenery. You get to enjoy it. Be one with nature, virtually at least. So, and now that I'm totally lost and don't know where the airport is, if you just hit 5 on the number pad, it goes right back to your plane. And again, it's still loading scenery, see? But yeah, I could be here for a half an hour, which I'm not going to do with all of you because I'm sure you have better things to do with your life. But that is Glacier Park, and we will go back to our plane. And that was one of my longer flights because I typically try to do an hour. Because again, I have a family with 2 small children, and obviously we need to spend time with them. So, but now it's got to load the airport again. See that? But yeah, anyways, appreciate you coming out tonight and watching the stream. It seems to be building, so we must be doing something right for a lot of people, and really appreciate all you do for me on this. It's much better than flying alone and saying, "Oh, that's cool. Let me take a picture of that." Picture. It's nice to talk to people and show you something, hopefully in return. You know? Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna do the typical, what I have to do, which is basically make sure you follow on Twitch, and also like and subscribe on the Eric Flight YouTube channel, which is where this all started. I got real life videos on there for my flying. I have a couple more posts and this and that and all that. So there's gonna be more flight videos going up there. In fact, I just uploaded tons of video to my from the GoPros to my computer. It takes hours to edit one of those. So I will try to do that this weekend in between flying on the sim. And I hope you enjoy everything. I mean, if there's anything you think I can add, my email is on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. When you go to the channel description, send me an email. Tell me what you want to see, and I'll see if I can do it. But other than that, thanks for coming out tonight, and nothing else to say. Just like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you in the future. And our flights around the United States, we will make it back to Plymouth. It's going to take a while in the 172, but this is why. You can, yeah, you could offer me advice. Just send me an email. Unless it's really bad and you want to share it with everyone. I mean, I'm a musician, so I'm used to criticism. I am going to sign off now. So, anyways, have a great night. Thank you for coming out, and I will see you later.